Broadcast. As promised, you are back once again on this live broadcast from outside the residence of the Chief Minister, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. And it's important to mention, we are coming back live once again because the meeting between Mamata Banerjee and the state government officials and the protesting junior doctors have come to an end. How do you know this? Because the bus which had brought in all the junior doctors have once again gone inside. The same bus which had gone inside while dropping them at the very gate of Chief Minister's residence, the same bus from outside have now gone inside this very lane of Horish Chatterjee Street, on which is the residence of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. And thus we can confirm that the meeting is over. What has transpired in the meeting is a subject of speculation. But the fact of the matter is, after days of stalemate, very prolonged stalemate, today was the first time when the protesting doctors had come on a talking table along with the state government officials. After two failed attempts on Thursday and Saturday, today, Monday, became a Monday of absolute suspense. After in the afternoon, the Chief Secretary did write to the protesting doctors yet again, urging them to come on the talking table, also reminding them that this was the fifth and the final appeal to them. So yes, to the fifth and the final appeal, the junior doctors, while responding to the email with their conditions, they have eventually come down to the point of agreement, as both sides agreed that the meeting can have minutes of the meeting. The meeting will not be transmitted live. The meeting will not be video recorded. And yes, the minutes of the meeting would be, at the end of both sides, at the respective end of both sides. So both sides would be taking the minutes of the meeting, and obviously they would be swapping of the meeting, minutes of the meeting, and eventually they would see as both sides have documented the truthful and the factual documentation of the proceeds of the meeting. And as they validate those minutes of the meeting by signing on them, they officially become the outcome of what really happened inside the meeting room. There is no video proof. There is no video which can come out because the videography has not been allowed. But minutes of the meeting would be as good as a word picture, which would essentially give you a sense as what has happened inside the meeting room. So the visual that you are playing is of the bus going inside this very lane, the Horish Chatterjee Street, where the meeting has come to an end at the residence of the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. We have seen what has happened on Thursday. We have seen what has happened on Saturday. And after high drama, after high voltage drama, we have only seen as how two attempts were absolutely the failed attempts as far as meetings are concerned. But finally, this Monday, it seemed like a different Monday, because on record, it is different because the meeting has finally happened. The meeting has finally happened, and the meeting has happened in a way that both sides have come on the talking room, inside the room, on the talking table. So thus this meeting is significant. What has transpired in this meeting, again, a subject of speculation. But again, if you are joining this live broadcast now, if you have been watching our live broadcast for the past several hours, know this, that you have come back to a continuous coverage of this very crucial meeting, a significant meeting on which all eyes have been quite glued up, because everyone wanted to know as what would happen as far as the stalemate is concerned. It is just not about the justice for the 31-year-old PGT medical student of Arjikar Medical College and Hospital, one who was brutalized, one who was raped and murdered. But in the follow-up of the investigation, apart from Sanjay Roy, we also know, as a matter of fact, CBI in its first arrest have re-arrested Shondeep Ghosh, the former principal of Arjikar, and also OC of Tala Police Station, Abhijit Mondal. So obviously, after these fresh arrests by CBI in direct connection with the rape and murder, while alleging them for coming to an absolute conspiracy to tamper evidences, it has only made the turn of events quite different, because so far it was only Sanjay Roy who was arrested, and so far Kolkata police have maintained that they have done nothing wrong and that no evidence had been tampered. But CBI arresting the OC of Tala police station had only given further ammunition, fresh ammunition, to the critics of the state government, and to a great extent to the protesting Arjikot doctors, as they have been long apprehending that the evidences could have been tampered, evidences could have been destroyed, and that's the reason they did not have much faith on the investigation that was carried out by Kolkata police, while they had been expecting that there would be expedited outcome of the CBI investigation. While they have questioned, they want CBI to expedite the investigation and bring a closure to this investigation as early as possible. But nonetheless, as far as CBI's investigation is concerned, they have not lost their trust as they have maintained, and CBI's investigation is on. So, in that course of CBI's investigation, after 32 days, they had been given this investigation by Calcutta High Court. The CBI had made first arrest with OC Tala Police Station Abhijit Mondol, and also re-arresting Shondeep Ghosh, former principal of Arjikon Medical College and Hospital. And that also found a crucial mention in the response from the protesting doctors to the Chief Secretary's appeal to come down for the talks today in this fifth and final appeal, as the protesting doctors highlighted, for the sake of transparency, which has only found more significance and greater significance only after the arrest of, re-arrest of Shondeep Ghosh and Abhijit Mondol, the OC of Tala Police Station. They wanted live streaming of it. They also wanted it to be videographed. But as the state government had been reiterating and maintaining that they will not be videographing this meeting, and there would be no live streaming for the sake of sanctity, and given the fact the matter is sub judice, yes, they had offered that the minutes of the meeting can be taken by both sides. What we've been given to understand that 40 doctors had come down. If on Thursday, there were junior doctors had gone to Novannu Shobhagar. There were 34 junior doctors who had gone there. They eventually did not enter inside the meeting room. But on Saturday, we had seen roughly about 34 to 35 junior doctors had come down here at this very residence of the Chief Minister. Again, the meeting did not happen. But today, the head count that you have been given, 42, and 42 junior doctors, not 42, 40 junior doctors plus 2 stenographers had gone inside the residence of the Chief Minister. They were all allowed inside. They had all deposited their phones and they had walked inside the meeting room. And the meeting had lasted for over 2 hours. It was exactly 6:17 when the junior doctors, their bus had come down at this very road. And from this very road, the bus had gone inside this very lane. As you see, this very lane. So obviously, the junior doctors had been dropped at the very gate of the residence of the Chief Minister, and thereafter they had walked inside, and the meeting has thereafter started and lasted for over 2 hours. Very, very crucial meeting. The first of its kind after the impasse broke out. First of its kind after the stalemate broke out. First of its kind after the deadlock had started. And interestingly, this first meeting also comes hours before Supreme Court hears the matter for the fourth time. Supreme Court had heard the matter on 20th of August. Supreme Court had heard the matter on 22nd of August. Supreme Court had heard the matter on 9th of September. And Supreme Court is once again slated to hear the matter of Arjikor rape and murder, once again tomorrow, which is 17th of September. Once again, CBI is expected to give a status report, an updated status report to the Supreme Court. But why is there a correlation between Supreme Court hearing and this meeting happening? It is purely because Supreme Court, in its last hearing on 9th of September, had categorically stated that if senior doctors are working doesn't mean the junior doctors won't work, that the patients cannot suffer, that junior doctors should get back to their duty, and the deadline that was given was Tuesday, 5 p.m. That was 10th of September, 5 p.m. While that was not part of the official order, but Supreme Court's observations are equally sacrosanct, considered to be supreme. While the Supreme Court had passed the observation and the state had tried clinging on to it while appealing the junior doctors to end their cease work, but the end of cease work never happened. So from Tuesday this week till now, the cease work had continued, and the junior doctors have said, while they respect what the Supreme Court had said, they will certainly not resume their duties because until and unless they get a surety for a safe and a secure environment. So obviously, the junior doctors also have to respond to the Supreme Court tomorrow when Supreme Court questions them as whether they have resumed their duties or not. And if the Supreme Court asks it, the junior doctors, the protesting doctors will also have to respond to it. So yes, whether the cease work will end after this or not, we are not really sure. But this meeting happening hours before the Supreme Court hearing is equally very, very significant, and makes this entire meeting very, very significant. So again, to give you a quick recap, we are outside the residence of the Chief Minister. This is the very road in Kalighat which leads to the Chief Minister's residence. Given the fact there is a battery of media people, and also given the fact there are onlookers assembled, there is restriction as far as movement inside the lane is concerned. But all the protesting doctors were taken inside this very lane, and that too on the very bus. Now we have those visuals of the doctors coming down, and we also have the visual now when the bus has now gone inside. So yes, the bus going inside the lane is a clear indication that the meeting is probably over, and the junior doctors would be facilitated boarding the same bus that brought them here, and then they would be allowed to leave. The junior doctors have also made it very clear as far as their decision is concerned and issuing a statement post the meeting is concerned that would only happen once they go back to their dharna site, which is outside Shastro Bhavan. So at this juncture, not really sure whether they would be issuing a statement or not, but what we can confirm with absolute affirmity that the meeting is over, and what has transpired in the meeting not known to any one of us. You can trust my word, and I can bet on this. No one knows what happened inside the meeting because the meeting was attended purely by junior doctors, the two stenographers, the chief secretary, the chief minister, the DGP, and there were only state officials, handful of them, and all of them entered the meeting room without their cell phones. So nobody has any information as what really has happened inside the meeting room. No information coming out of the meeting room is actually an authentic information because nobody has a medium to send the information outside the meeting room. So obviously, when I don't have, nobody has, and you can actually trust information which are trickling out at your own cause discretion. We are waiting for an official statement either to come from the state government or, for that matter, to come from the protesting doctors. But at this juncture, what we can confirm, the meeting has lasted for over 2 hours. The first meeting between the two sides happened here at the residence of the Chief Minister, and the meeting that has happened today on Monday, that is 16th of September 2024, over 35 days, 37 days after the siege work started, and first since the brutal rape and murder on 9th of August 2024 of the Archicot PGD 31-year-old medical student. This is the first occasion that both sides have come down for the meeting. So at this juncture, as you see, there is a huge build-up out here. There are people who have assembled. There are people who have come in, and there are people who are raising slogans. We want justice. The sloganeering has started. There are a sea of people, the battery of media people who have come down. All are waiting for the doctors to walk out, because last time when the doctors had walked out, they had issued a statement, but whether that would happen or not, again, we have to wait and see. Just to give you a sense of the place as it looks, this is Kali Ghat, and this very road, that is Horish Chatterjee Street, leads to the Chief Minister's residence. There are people, there are locals who have come down, and they're all, waiting with bated breath to hear as what has transpired in the meeting. And of course, just not the locals, the entire city, the state, they're all waiting for the meeting, the details of the meeting to come out, to understand as whether the meeting had been a fruitful one, whether this will be the only meeting between the two, or this would only be opening the door for another round of talks. And if that would indicate that talks have begun between two sides, and with talks and dialogue, they would be ending the impasse and ending this deadlock. So at this juncture, yes, it is too premature to speculate as what has happened inside the meeting room. I cannot confirm. No one can confirm, as I've been saying, unless there is an official statement either by the state government or by the protesting doctors. We cannot confirm as what has happened inside the meeting room. At this juncture, what we can indeed confirm that the meeting is over. The meeting is over. The meeting lasted for 2 hours, and the meeting is over. I've sent my colleague Titash a little ahead for some visuals. We are trying to operate on ourselves out here, so she has gone a little ahead for visuals, and we are hoping that we will get some pictures of the doctors or the bus moving, rolling down, and taking this very road out that had brought them to the residence of the Chief Minister. So yes, as far as agreement and disagreements are concerned, we have all gone through them from Thursday to Saturday. There have been multiple exchanges of letters, multiple exchanges of emails. Probably in the recent past, we haven't really seen such exchange of communication, and that too in such frequent intensity from both sides, in order to insist that the dialogue is important, but the conditions and their point of view also have to be respected. So yes, agreement and disagreement had only catapulted to a point where both sides came this close to a meeting on Thursday, and the meeting did not happen. They once again came this close to the meeting on Saturday, again it did not happen. If on Thursday it was the Secretariat, the Nobanno Shobhagot, on Saturday it literally came down at the doorstep of Mamta Banerjee's own residence. And obviously, there had been a lot of social media messaging going on, because Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee also had started a social scheme called Duare Sarkar, meaning taking the government at the doorstep of the people. But on Saturday, as the protesting doctors had come down at the very doorstep of the residence of the Chief Minister, the talk of the town became that meeting at the doorstep, Duare meeting, but the meeting did not happen. So as I said, on Thursday and on Saturday, They came this close to the meeting, but the meeting did not happen. And again, the talking point on social media had been the duria between the two. But thankfully, on Monday, there is something different that we are reporting on. That whether the duria has been mitigated or not, again, we have to wait for an official confirmation. But the very fact that both sides have come together inside the meeting room, would many say that it is first step towards resolving the deadlock, because both sides have come down to the meeting room together. Now, the state has been maintaining that the cease work should end, and in the interest of the doctors, in the interest of patients, in the interest of the state, in the interest of everyone, and in the interest of justice, the doctors should wait for the investigation to get over and for the investigation to decide if the people they have their apprehensions about. For example, the Principal Secretary Health, Police Commissioner of Kolkata, DC North and DC South. So against all these people, the qualms that doctors have kind of fostered, whether they stand their ground or not is again subject to investigation. But the state government said they would be studying all their demands, come on the talking table, we will study your demands and we will then decide. But for now, it's important you come to the talking table, have a discussion, and then get back to work, because the health system is equally dependent on you all. There are common people, poor people who can't afford a private hospital. They are dependent on you, and thus getting back to work is of a priority. But we have seen this request not really cutting the ice, because the junior doctors also maintaining their standpoint that security of doctors are equally important, that they are lifesavers, they are life givers, and they cannot be risking their own lives at workspace. And they are saying they were reeling under the horror and the memory of a junior doctor, a medical student from RGCon Medical College and Hospital, being simply not brutalized but also killed mercilessly. And thereafter, on 14th of August, in fact, in the intervening night of 14th and 15th of August, the kind of mayhem that unfolded inside RGCon Medical College and Hospital, with the attack inside the emergency building, on the fourth floor of which you have the crime scene, the seminar room. Thereafter, the junior doctors had maintained that they have lost absolute faith on the security arrangement which is there inside RGCon Medical College and Hospital. The reason why they insisted, unless there is an absolute overhaul of the security apparatus, they will not be going back to work. And that demand is also a crucial demand, which definitely would be finding a mention here at the very meeting, which has already ended. So about 40 doctors had come down, and the junior doctors had insisted that 40 doctors or more than 15 would be coming, because there are many medical colleges and hospitals, and they're equal stakeholders in this movement, which they have termed as people's movement. And thus, for everyone to have a fair say to put forth their version, that's the reason all the people will have to be allowed. That has been allowed. The stenographers have been allowed. And going by the timeline, if the meeting has taken about 2 hours, it is expected that maybe probably everyone has spoken. Whether they have spoken or not, again, we would wait for an official confirmation. But for now, to give you a sense, right outside the gate of Kalighat Temple, we are standing at the mouth of Horish Chatterjee Street. And from here, as you pan right, you get to see the entire scene which is unfolding. There are police people, they are holding on to the bandobast, ensuring security and safety. There are also common people who have come down who are raising slogans. We want justice. There are people who are there on the other side of the barricading, because they are also waiting for the doctors to come out. But then the bus has just gone inside, and the bus going inside is a clear indication that the meeting is over, and probably the doctors would be coming out very soon. Well, as far as the meeting is concerned, what happens in the meeting, again, it's a subject to speculation. For now, we do not really have any confirmation as which way the meeting has gone, whether the meeting was conducive, whether the meeting was fruitful, whether the meeting has yielded some positive result and outcome, which is essentially agreement from both sides. Again, we cannot really confirm. But just a short while back, before we ended our live broadcast, we had said that we would be staying put here and that we would be keeping our eyes on the meeting. As it ends, we would come back for the live broadcast again. And we saw the bus going inside. The visual is also playing on the second window. The bus going inside is a clear indication of the meeting getting over, and the doctors would probably be coming out. Now, whether the doctors would be issuing a statement here, again, we do not really know, because doctors, before leaving from Salt Lake, outside Shastro Bhavan, from there, where they had been holding their protest demonstration for the past 7 days, they decided they would be going back there, consult with others before they issue any kind of a statement. But there is something called minutes of the meeting. The minutes of the meeting would almost be a word picture of what really happened inside the meeting room for the past 2 hours, as was decided and agreed by both sides. If the meeting has happened or whatever has happened inside the meeting room, both sides had decided to keep minutes of the meeting, and that was the last point of negotiation, settlement for both sides. Then no live streaming, no videography, only minutes of the meeting. You can keep your own stenographer, you can take down the points, you can jot down everything. And as is the protocol, when minutes of the meeting is being documented by two sides who are not exactly on the same page, as it's the protocol, the minutes of the meeting are swept so that both sides can go through, scrutinize as what has been documented on either document, and once they have absolute clarity as what has been documented, and if they are in agreement with that, both sides would be signing on the pages as an approval of their consent for the minutes of the meeting documented by the either side. So the swap can also take a time. It is the normal practice and discipline in diplomacy. So obviously, if that happens, that would also take some time. So given the fact that 40 people have gone inside, and if all 40 people had spoken for 2 minutes each, if at all they have spoken, all of them, then 40 into 2 would be 80 minutes. If somebody has spoken a little more, could be a little more than that. So let's give a benefit of doubt. If the protesting doctors have consumed 100 minutes, uh, then again, it's 20 minutes short of 2 hours if the meeting has lasted for more than 2 hours. So it is short of 20 minutes from 120 minutes of 2 hours slot. So maybe the state government has also spoken out. And obviously, if it's a dialogue and a communication with both sides, it cannot be just one side speaking and other side listening. We are presuming that it was a normal setup of a meeting where both sides have engaged, spoken. One has spoken, the other one has heard, the other one has spoken, and the other side has heard. So obviously, we are now waiting for a confirmation and a clarity as how the meeting has transpired, what has happened inside the room, does it really end the deadlock? Whether the doctors would be going back to the to their hospitals and end the siege war, and most importantly, this meeting, what kind of bearing will this have on Supreme Court's hearing tomorrow? Please understand, Supreme Court, which has intervened into this matter, the Supreme Court hearing is extremely significant. Okay, because we have the scope of time in hand, let's understand one thing. While the anticipation is building on the Supreme Court hearing, let's be very clear about one thing. Supreme Court has intervened in the matter, and Supreme Court is saying that we would be ensuring that justice is done. But as far as the investigation is concerned, and as far as the trial is concerned, that is not going to the Supreme Court. That will go to the trial court. And I give you an example for your better understanding. Shondip Ghosh was arrested by CBI, and also OC of Tala police station, he was also arrested by CBI in connection with the rape and murder. Supreme Court is not in custody of the corruption case, but Supreme Court is our possession of the rape and murder case. So talking about the rape and murder case alone, and for simplified understanding of yours, the OC of Tala police station was arrested by CBI, and also Shondip Ghosh had been re-arrested by CBI. Were they produced before Supreme Court for production? The answer is a no. They were produced before the CBI court. Here in this case, the Sessions Court in Chialda. They were produced there, and thereafter from the Sessions Court, they were sent to CBI custody till September 17, which is tomorrow. Which means, as far as day-to-day progress of the case is concerned, that still stays with the trial court. So as and when CBI files the charge sheet would be going to the lower court, the trial court, not to the Supreme Court. So while the anticipation is building on Supreme Court hearing the matter, let's understand the Supreme Court would only be giving us a clarity as whether the investigation is on the right track, if there are lapses on the investigation so far, how to rectify them, how to expedite the investigation. These are the genres and factors where the Supreme Court has intervened into, and the Supreme Court is in charge of. As far as day-to-day investigation and the progress of the investigation vis-a-vis accountability before the court is concerned, that would mostly be with the trial court. As I explained, for any arrest in this case, the arrest production would be happening before the trial court, which is a lower court. As and when the charge sheet is being filed, it will again go to the trial court, not to the Supreme Court directly. Yes, there can come a moment where the charge sheet is also being sent to the Supreme Court, but then it will not be the first stop for the investigating agency, that is the CBI. So yes, the Supreme Court will be hearing the matter tomorrow. The Supreme Court had largely kept its focus on the larger issue, the safety of doctors. And that is the reason the Supreme Court has formed a national task force comprising of multiple stakeholders, including junior doctors, senior doctors, people from medical fraternity, from the union government. And that's called National Task Force. Why? The Supreme Court is trying to ensure there is a proper guideline being given to all the stakeholders so that there is a safer workspace environment can be created for the doctors. So mind it, on this 22nd of August, when Supreme Court heard the matter, Supreme Court clearly said that they are forming this special task force, the national task force, which would also be comprising of representatives from the central government, secretaries from the health department, and junior doctors, senior doctors, medicos, medical boards. They have all been made part of the national task force with the principal interest to formulate a roadmap so that there is safer workspace environment for our doctors across the country, just not limited to Bengal. So that's exactly what Supreme Court is in possession of. That apart, Supreme Court is also going through the status report being filed by CBI in the last two occasions. CBI is also expected to file an updated status report before the Supreme Court tomorrow, and obviously that would also give us a clarity and direction to understand which way the investigation is going. Because mind you, Supreme Court has pulled up the state police, the Kolkata police, as far as delay in filing of the FIR is concerned. Supreme Court has also questioned as whether any kind of false narrative had been given to the family vis-a-vis the quote-unquote suicide theory. So similarly, the Supreme Court has questioned the state government. The Supreme Court can also question CBI, the investigating agency, in this matter to understand if the investigation is on its track. So yes, that's what with the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court also on 9th of September, while hearing the matter, had made it very, very clear that junior doctors should get back to work by 10th of September. That was last Tuesday by 5 p.m. Again, it was Tuesday, that was 10th of September, with junior doctors, instead of going back to their duty, had started with a rally, a march towards Shastra Bhavan, and thereafter it ended up being a camp. Literally, they have been camping outside Shastra Bhavan in protest and with demonstration for the past 7 days. Now, that has also in a way indicated of a deep-rooted deadlock, and that deadlock was far from getting over. So today, when we talk about this meeting, the meeting which has happened between the protesting doctors, the junior doctors, and the state government, it is very, very important to understand that the junior doctors and the state government, for the first time, had come on the talking table. The junior doctors have met the chief minister. The chief minister had gone to their protest side. There are other emissaries or maybe intermediaries who have tried negotiating with both sides. There have been emails and exchange of letters happening. There had been press conferences from both sides, making it to the either one. But that apart, this is the first time when physically the state government and the protesting doctors have come on the talking table inside the same meeting room. A meeting which many are saying had been long overdue, at least from Thursday and Saturday. Because in Thursday and on Saturday, the meetings got washed away and never happened, even though they came this close to the meeting, primarily because of the point of contention of live streaming. So live streaming, as was demanded by the junior doctors, was not allowed by the state government, neither on Thursday nor on Saturday. So obviously today too the live streaming was not allowed, but junior doctors had agreed for minutes of the meeting as what they had settled with, and thereafter the junior doctors had come down here. So we're expecting them to come out anytime now. Just to give you a sense of this place, this is how it looks like. Several people have come down. There is a battery of media people who have come down, and of course there had been an anticipation building for the past so many hours, at least since the mail was sent at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and thereafter doctors were asked to come down here at the residence of the chief minister by 5 p.m. Obviously, they could not come here at 5 p.m. The last email exchange that happened was closer to 5 p.m. and thereafter, by the time they reached here, it was 6:17. 6 o'clock and 17 minutes was the exact time when the bus had gone inside this very lane, and then the bus had dropped all the junior doctors very outside the residence of the chief minister, and thereafter the chief minister, they had walked inside the chief minister's residence. We have the visuals of the junior doctors going inside the chief minister's residence. We also know, as a matter of fact, as was the protocol, everyone, including the chief minister, had handed over their cell phones outside the meeting room so that there happens no scope for either audio recording or video recording from both sides. And thereafter, as was agreed, it was decided that minutes of the meeting would be taken by both sides, and both would be deciding the minutes of the meeting, the authenticity of the minutes of the meeting by checking the other one. So obviously, the minutes of the meeting would be very, very crucial to give you a sense as what has transpired inside the meeting room, how fruitful it has been, if at all it has been fruitful, or if this meeting, which has happened today for the first time since the deadlock started 35 days and more back, will this also open up scope and avenue for more meetings in the following days? Again, we have to wait and see. But at this juncture, uh, Well, as we see that in the meeting which has started about 2.5 2 hours back, and more than that, more than that, the meeting has come to an end, and we are in a position to confirm that the meeting has ended purely because it purely because there has been a delay of several hours. There has been a delay of several hours as far as the meeting is concerned, and finally, as the meeting happened, this became the first meeting between the two sides. Sorry for the little gesticulation, because we were trying to gesture at Tita. She was there inside the crowd. So, Titash, it's been over 2 hours that the meeting has happened, and of course, they would be coming out. The bus has gone inside itself as an indication that the meeting is over. What has transpired in the meeting, no one knows. Maybe you're all waiting for the doctors to come out and issue a statement, but nonetheless, we can't discount the fact this was the first time that both sides have come to the talking table and inside one room.
Yeah. So this is the first time that both sides have come to the talking table. Not just that, what is important is after two back-to-back failed attempts at the meeting, this is the first time both Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee as well as the representatives of the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front, both of them have kind of put their heads together and sat down together, and the minutes of the meeting have been articulately taken down. The doctors' team themselves were carrying two professional stenographers that accompanied them inside the meeting room, and the minutes of the meeting have articulately been taken down from both sides, from the side of the doctors as well as from the side of the government. Now, the minutes, as was proposed from both the emails, that is, the minutes will be noted down, articulately noted down, point to point, exactly what has happened in each minute, and will be signed. It will be signed by everyone who was present in the meeting, from West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee to all the representatives of the delegation that represents the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front. Now, as was said by the doctors before they arrived over here, they had mentioned that they are coming here to discuss their five-pronged demand with the Chief Minister. And when questioned if their cease work would end, they have said they can only issue a statement pertaining to the cease work after the meeting with Mamata Banerjee is completed, essentially stating that whatever statements are going to be issued pertaining to what has transpired or what has happened in the meeting will only happen once the doctors go back to Shastra Bhavan, where they have been camping for the past week or so. Um, it's also interesting to see what the doctors say, as the doctors had, taken with them a five-prong demand before the chief minister, and they said that they wanted to discuss with her comprehensively, and see that if they could come to some mediating grounds, which in turn, would allow them to get back to work, because they had mentioned that, as the state had said, that almost 29 lives were lost over the past couple of days since the doctors had gone into cease work. Now, the doctors had gone into cease work since August 9th, since the day the heinous rape and murder happened. It has been over 37 days, around 39 days to be exact, since the cease work has continued. And in these 39 days, Mamata Banerjee in her press conference last time had mentioned that almost 29 people have lost their life because they did not get the treatment that they had come for to these government-run medical colleges and hospitals. So, and in turn, she announced a relief package, quote-unquote relief package of rupees 2 lakhs for the bereaved families in their hour of grief. So she had also said that, it is of utmost importance that the doctors get back to their duty, because it is the common people who perhaps cannot afford treatment at private hospitals are the ones who come to these government-run private colleges and hospitals for treatment. So we were stationed at Arjikor for 2 days straight, and we met patients who had come from far-flung places all across the state, hoping to be treated, hoping to get a second shot at life. There were critically ill patients as well, but then they were told by the hospital authorities that owing to shortages of doctors, owing to shortages of the equipment, or owing to shortages of people who can run the equipment, that is most important, owing to the shortage of dearth of manpower that can run the equipment, they were essentially sent back. Now, that is a mammoth cost for such families to incur, because these families all belong are people who essentially cannot afford exorbitant rates, exorbitant ambulance prices. So they were anyway paying high rates for cars, or to book ambulances to come to these government-run colleges and hospitals. So the cease work has only exacerbated the conditions that are prevalent inside a government-run medical college and hospital. Therefore, it is them who are at the facing end of the direct consequences of the doctors cease work. Now, the doctors have also time and again said that you should question the kind of the health facilities or the system that runs in your state. That if the junior doctors stop working, there is like the void can be felt so everlastingly. So this has been a debate and a counter debate for so long. But then it is for us to wait and see what comes out of this meeting, and if the doctors, go back to their work, or they resume their duties, immediately, or if they would continue with their cease work. But for now, the bus that was carrying the doctors, the bus that brought the doctors in at around 6:30-ish, has gone back into the lane.
I do have the number. It's
Okay.
42, 40 doctors and 2 stenographers.
So the number has increased
Yeah,
from
the number
30,
has increased from 30,
30,
or
30,
something.
35 something.
Yeah, so it has now gone up, gone up to 40. The weather has been quite unpredictable. For a lighter note, again, the weather has been quite unpredictable. If on Saturday it was pouring heavily, this morning too it was pouring heavily. Then the sky turned clearer. Again, there is a breeze now. Like the weather, we are not really sure.
Was the ray of sunshine in the morning
Can't
indicative
really,
of what happens
can't
today?
really presume anything, but you're just saying the weather has been changing. Let's put it that way. The weather is changing. It's absolutely
up
not a
for change.
political statement.
We are all up for change.
We're just saying the weather is changing.
Of
I'm not saying anything more, anything less. I'm just saying the weather is changing.
course it
If it was raining on Saturday, it is not raining today. If it was raining in the morning, it was sunny slightly in the afternoon. If it was sunny in the afternoon, it became sultry in the evening. And now there is
Now
a
there's a
breeze,
cool
a
breeze.
pleasant one.
A
So
cool
the weather is changing. So yeah, I leave it over there, and I leave it to the people's interpretation. To all our viewers who have joined in, it's a humble request. Uh, while we believe in democracy, we believe in absolute freedom for people to share their opinion. You don't fight amongst each other. That's unhealthy. If somebody wants to say something to me, let that person do that. It is personal between me and that person. That person, if being a critical viewer of mine, is still my viewer, and I respect him as much as I respect those who are trying to defend me, so or defend us. Doesn't really matter. It's their freedom. Let them say whatever they want to say, and we respect everything. Yes, if there are abuses, we can't really endorse it, but we let that be. But please don't fight amongst each other. We are trying to stick to facts. Please understand, we do not want to become popular by adopting the populist measure. We want to be neutral, and we want to be absorbed in facts. So whether we see 10,000 people watching our live, or 100 people watching our live, or one person watching the live, the accountability lies principally to the facts. Number two, that one viewer who is watching this expecting truth and nothing else. So you've tried sticking to the very fundamentals of that. If somebody doesn't like it, let that be. You don't fight amongst each other. For now, coming back to the scene now over here, as we both of us have been reporting since evening. It was supposed to start at 5 o'clock. We came down here at what time? 4 o'clock. 4:30, 4:45. There was absolute bandobast here. We were expecting the doctors would come, but then by then also there was no clarity if the doctors would come.
Even after they reached, there were like a couple of email exchanges that happened before the doctors actually got up into the bus. There were press statements that were released by the doctors, after which they boarded the bus, and then they came.
And if you ask me if I've lost a count of number of emails, well, I have, because on Thursday there were one, two, one, two.
So see, so far there have been 5 letters. All
Five
in all,
letters,
five letters
but
all in
today's
all.
letter had multiple responses from the protesting doctors.
Exactly.
Today
So-
was the 5th installment of letter exchange.
From the state side, there has been 5 letters.
Yes.
From the protesting doctors' side, if my count isn't wrong, it should be around 7 to 8-ish.
Okay, so these many exchanges have happened between the two sides, and obviously whether there would be more exchange of emails in days to come, again we have to wait and see. Whether this meeting would open up the doors for further meetings, again we have to wait and see. But at this juncture, it's very, very important to stress on the fact, without indulging in any kind of speculation, the fact is that both sides have come inside the meeting room, the same meeting room. Because so far we have seen multiple meeting rooms, multiple meetings happening, but all on the either side of the stage. If the state had been holding meeting, the state meeting had been happening at the secretariat. While the junior doctors had been holding their meetings, they have been happening at their protest demonstration site. So it's not like both sides have come together at one common spot and then have had a meeting. Thursday was this close, where both sides assembled at the common space, which was Robert Shavagor. But tragically, the chief minister was there inside the meeting room, and the doctors were outside the meeting room. So the meeting did not happen. Then again, on Saturday, the venue of the meeting was the chief minister's residence. The chief minister was inside the residence, and the protesting doctors were outside the residence. They did not go inside, and the meeting never happened. Today, for a change, while the venue of the meeting stays the same, which is the residence of the chief minister, and today, for a change, the junior doctors too have gone inside the residence, and thereafter, from there, they have also gone inside the meeting room after depositing their mobile phones. So obviously, there is also a sense of I would say cooling down and acceptance of the meeting and the priority of the meeting, and thereafter both had gone inside the meeting room. So yes, the meeting has happened. The meeting has lasted for more than 2 hours. What has transpired in the meeting, again, we cannot really confirm whether all 40 doctors who represent different stakes as they have maintained so far, whether they have spoken individually to put forth their point. Again, we can't really confirm whether the chief minister and the state government have agreed on the 5 demands. Demand number one, justice for Tilottama or Abhaya, basically the RG Court PGT doctor who is unfortunately no more with us. And then you also have the second demand, the suspension of principal secretary health. Then you also have another demand, suspension of Shondeep Ghosh. Third, then you also have suspension of other health officials. Then you also had the demand of suspension of Police Commissioner Vinit Goyal and disciplinary action against DC North and DC Central. And then they also demanded safer environment at the workplace, which is the hospital. And they also demanded end of threat culture. Now, as far as threat culture is concerned, the chief minister had said that they have already started taking action. She has already disintegrated patient welfare organization. So, what is this patient welfare organization? It's a welfare organization comprising of people. So far, it has been somebody local to the hospital or next to the hospital, could have some political lineage and patronage. So all those people had been there, and little representation came from the hospital authorities. So that, as a matter of fact, became a bone of contention. And the junior doctor said that more such people who enjoy political patronage get into the scheme of things and the system. More is the scope for corruption. More is the scope for facts of corruption not coming out and suppression. And thereafter, accepting the demand of the junior doctors, this patient welfare organization has been completely disintegrated. The chief minister is on record saying that there would be new patients welfare organization formed, and that could also comprise of junior doctors, senior doctors. There would be people, chairman. There would be people's representative.
There would be representative from the junior doctors, senior doctors. There would be one public representative and one person from the police. So
Absolutely.
she, on record said that all the patient welfare organizations so far stands dismantled and new ones would be made. She said that in person, and this was a move which was also welcomed by the junior doctors.
Absolutely. So that as a move has also been welcomed by the junior doctors. Maybe the most important and the pressing point would be as whether the principal secretary health, the demand of suspension would be accepted, suspension of police commissioner would be accepted, because while the chief minister said we would be accepting all your demands to study them and then decide in the best interest of you and everyone else, but then she at the same breath had also said that we cannot really take action against somebody who is innocent. If you take action against somebody who is innocent, would be unfair. Also, viewers who are joining us, just to give you a sense, you might be hearing some sounds of chaos. Please do not get rattled. Do not get puzzled. Do not panic, because some channels are doing live. There are onlookers, there are curious people, there are general people who have assembled. They're also expressing their opinion. Emotions are quite charged up. So exchange of such emotion can also make it look like quite chaotic a situation, but that has got nothing to do with the chaos unfolding on the ground pertaining to the meeting. It just, as you can see, there are somebody who are also giving statement to media. So that's exactly what is happening, and that is what is creating that situation, or the sound of chaos that you get to hear in the background, but it has got nothing to do with the meeting which is happening inside. The doctors are still inside, as I've been maintaining. What's happening inside the meeting room, or what has happened inside the meeting room, no one knows. I don't know. Titash doesn't know. No reporter can ever confirm that they knows. And the source-based information can be nothing but all bluff. Because please understand, neither the chief minister nor the junior doctors have taken their phones inside. Neither the chief secretary nor the stenographers or the doctors have taken their phones inside. Neither the security of the chief minister nor anyone else have gone inside with cameras or phones that they can record anything and they can hear, and then they can pass on the information at the real-time manner. So obviously information coming out and then attributed as source-based information, well, at this point in time, I would leave it to you to judge them and believe them at your own discretion. For us, We are really, really dependent on facts which are there on black and white. And the black and white facts can only come out when the junior doctors come out and issue a statement. There is also a condition which has been attached. Junior doctors have said they might just not issue a statement here at all. They might just go back to their dharna side, which is Salt Lake, Shastro Bhavan, outside Shastro Bhavan, where the protest demonstration had
They
been on.
said that they would like to issue a statement where everyone is present.
Yes.
Because this has been a movement, like so far for the past 39 days, it has been a collective movement of all the people of the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front. So they said that they're issuing an separate statement would not be fair, and they would want to issue the statement in presence of everyone. That is all the stakeholders of the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front. So, having said that, the doctors are yet to come out of the Chief Minister's house, and we are all waiting here right outside West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's house. The bus carrying the doctors has gone in. In the meantime, I think it has been over half
What's
an
the
hour
time?
that the bus
What's
has
the
gone
time?
in.
It's 9:30.
9:30.
So 6:27 was the time when the bus carrying the doctors had gone inside. 6:17. I had seen my watch and it's there, here, registered. So it might just take about a minute for the bus to go inside and then the park itself outside the gate of the Chief Minister. So let's presume 6:18. Then it definitely would take some amount of time for you to go through a screening process. You're entering inside the Chief Minister's residence. The mobile would be scanned, and there are other metal detectors. So once you go through the screening process, it might just take about another 5 minutes in best case scenario for 40 people or 42 people to walk inside, or say about 10 minutes.
There has to be some security
So
protocol.
yes, I believe by 6:30 they must have gone inside the house of the Chief Minister. Now, like if I come into your house, if Titash comes to my house, if I go to her house, I walk inside the house and obviously I will not be said, Tamal, you stand as punishment. Obviously, I would offer a chair. I would offer a place to sit. Here, in this case, the place was the meeting room. So obviously, they have been then taken inside the meeting room. There is a big hall kind of a space inside the courtyard of the Chief Minister's residence. And over there, we have seen some political meetings also happen, election meetings also happen. So I'm presuming if the headcount is 40 and plus, and then you have the state government representatives all put together could be touching about 50. So obviously, I think they must have seated inside the meeting room, where generally you have gone inside and covered election-centric news and political affairs. So they must have gone inside that very room, and the meeting must have started, say, by 6:35, 40. And if I go by that presumed time, then the meeting definitely has lasted for more than 2 hours, because it's already third hour that you're completing since the bus had gone inside. Now that the bus has gone inside, once again to bring the doctors back, and which is a clear indication of the meeting being over, I believe maybe the minutes of the meeting has been swapped and they are going through it. So only after that they will be signing on the minutes of the meeting and then boarding the bus and come out. So maybe it will be taking some more time. And yes, we will be staying on this live as long as it takes and as long as they don't come out. It's very, very important to understand. And I just went through a couple of comments coming in from the viewers. Ankit, if I'm not wrong, and then Utpal. While Ankit had cast aspersion as whether this meeting will actually end the deadlock or whether there would be more meetings. Again, Ankit, we can't really confirm that. All fingers crossed, because everybody with their hands on their heart would say they would want the deadlock to end. No dispute in that. We all want justice for the bereaved family. We all want justice for the fallen doctor. We all want justice for the anguish that all the doctors have gone through. We all want justice for the anguish that we all are going through without justice in hand. Every time I think of Sanjay Roy, and if he's the main culprit, the only one, I don't know, it it makes my blood boil that he is still there. He is still there, being brought to the court, produced before the court. There is hearing going on, and there is a family that is longing to see their daughter. There are friends of that same daughter longing to see their friend, and it makes us our blood boil. So obviously, as far as demand for justice is concerned, there is no disagreement on that. No one can say that
All of us are unequivocally on the
absolutely
same page.
we are on that same page. At the same time, as far as the protest of the doctors is concerned, everybody would say it's a legitimate protest, because the doctors have simply not been doctors here. We have also seen common people come out on the street. 14th of August, midnight of 14th of August, people came out on the street to reclaim their midnight, to make their protest felt and voice of protest be heard. We haven't really seen these kind of scenes unfold. Few days back near Shambhasar, we have seen protests unfold. I've seen mothers have come down here with their children.
And not just mothers, old people, young children, irrespective of their physical impediments, People were there. I think there was this video of picture we saw with an old man. He was, on a rickshaw with an oxygen cylinder next to him.
Imagine.
So nothing really stopped anyone from stepping outside to demand for justice.
Absolutely. So people have come out to express solidarity with this protest movement and make it look like a people's movement. So it is not restricted to doctors alone. And as I say, this fight for justice is not exclusive to doctors. It is equally my fight. It is equally her fight. It is equally fight of every individual who had been patiently waiting here to know what has transpired inside the meeting room. And thus I say, all these people, including us, we can all put our hands on our heart and say that we all want this deadlock to end somehow. We all want this situation to end. We all want justice, but we also want this deadlock to end. How it ends in the best interest of everyone. Again, it is not that we can decide as journalists, but there are stakeholders. Like the doctors are there as a very important stakeholder who are there inside the meeting room. The state government, again, a very important stakeholder because they are the state. So obviously, when they all come into agreement and they decide to end the deadlock would definitely end. How it ends, in what form it ends, again, we have to wait and see. But that we can confirm the meeting is over, and that's the reason. The doctor's bus has gone inside. So we will be waiting for an official confirmation as what has happened inside the meeting room, what has transpired, what is there in the meeting minutes of the meeting, and we also know, as a matter of fact, that as what you have seen on Thursday, as what you have seen on Saturday, and as what has actually shaped up this Monday evening. And this Monday evening was no different from the anticipation that we all have felt on Thursday, or for that matter on Saturday.
I think it was even more than that, even more than what it was on
Absolutely,
Thursday
absolutely.
and Saturday. Because after Thursday and especially after Saturday, there was an air of disappointment that had settled over almost everyone who was waiting to see what the outcome of this meeting is. So today, when the state, volleyed another letter, another invitation, the fifth one, there was a ray of hope, and then the doctors they took it. The doctors they took it, and after that, it was just a matter of it was just a matter of time before it happened, and the doctors actually went inside today. The doctors went inside today for the meeting, and we are all waiting to see what happens, what transpires out of it. All the doctors have mentioned that even they are inching to get back to work, but then
Absolutely.
again, at the same time, it is a loss for them also. A life loss is a loss for them also as doctors, they say. And so they have also maintained that they're inching to get back to work. So what happens if the deadlock ends, if the cease work ends, everything is, we're all waiting to see what exactly happens. But for now, the bus has gone in, but the doctors are yet to come out. That is the current development right now.
That's right. The bus has gone inside. The doctors are about to come out, obviously, and we will wait for an official confirmation as what is happening inside the meeting room. Yes, all eyes will be on that. Whether we get to speak to the doctors or not, again, we have to wait and see. If they don't speak here, they will be definitely speaking once they reach there. Again, we have to wait and see as what statement do they issue. But at this juncture, it is very, very important to understand that the first round of talks have already happened. I also read one of the other comments coming in from another viewer, if I'm not wrong, mistaken, Utpal or Uttam. So he said tomorrow's Supreme Court hearing would be very, very significant. Absolutely. Tomorrow's Supreme Court hearing would be very, very significant because tomorrow CBI would be filing an updated status report. And that status report, for a change, would also be highlighting the arrest of Obhijit Mondol, the OC of Tala Police Station, and arrest of Shondip Ghosh with the rape and murder. He was previously arrested in the case of corruption, financial irregularities. And Supreme Court said that CBI is probing the matter. So as far as the rape and murder case is concerned, the Supreme Court, which is in custody of the case, and they are more keen to see as what transpires in the investigation. And the Supreme Court has also made it very clear that CBI has to file a status report. So tomorrow would be another hearing where the CBI will have to file an updated status report, and that status report would also have few new additions. Mind it, it's been over 33 days that CBI was given this investigation by the Calcutta High Court. If I'm not wrong, it was 13th of August. 13th of August, Calcutta High Court order came, and the investigation was handed over to CBI. In fact, at that very evening, a few officers from CBI went to Tala Police Station to take handover of the case. So the case was taken over. Then on the following day, which is 14th of August, I remember it was 9:35 in the morning when CBI officers had walked out of Calcutta Airport, and then they had straight gone to CGO complex, the CBI office. from there, they started their movement and they're also registered their first case in New Delhi. So obviously, CBI has also registered a separate case vis-a-vis the rape and the murder of the 31-year-old RG PGD doctor is concerned. So over there, after that, from 14th of August, the investigation has only progressed. There have been 3 Supreme Court hearings already. So after 32 days since the investigation was handed over to CBI, on the 32nd day, CBI arrested these 2 people. Sandeep Ghosh re-arrested him in connection with the rape and murder case of the PGD doctor. Along with him, the Abhijit Mondal, OC of Tala Police Station, was arrested by CBI. These are the first 2 arrests. So thus the fresh updated status report of the CBI would be very, very significant, and we have to wait and see what CBI says. The other observation that I have, it's very, very interesting. The, the the status report which had been previously filed, they have also given an indication that there was a delay in filing of the FIR, and we can say that quite authentically, because Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud himself had expressed bewilderment
Exactly.
as how can it take
He
14
said he
hours?
was absolutely dismayed that it took
14 hours.
He was dismayed that
Yeah,
it took as long as 14 hours to
absolutely.
physically register the copy of the FIR.
And Kapil Sibal had also given a timeline as how things unfolded that day, how the
Exactly.
OC had gone and how
How
the
the
OC had.
inquest happened, the
Absolutely.
postmortem
But
happened.
nothing cutting the eye. Supreme Court had questioned as why was the FIR registered at 11:45 at night and hours after the body was handed over and the cremation
Cremation was
also done.
done.
Sorry, beg your pardon. And we also know, as a matter of fact, we now have the CBI's version. In fact, when CBI had produced Sandeep Ghosh and Abhijit Mondal yesterday at the Sessions Court, CBI also said that evidences have probably been destroyed, or probably evidences have been destroyed. And there could be a conspiracy. That's what CBI had maintained. And CBI also said that Abhijit Mondal had spoken to Sandeep Ghosh
Yes, so
multiple
basically they
times.
said that Abhijit Mondal and Sandeep Ghosh were essentially in talks with each other
Absolutely.
over what had happened or what had transpired out of the day to begin with.
And the other thing, Titash, which is very, very significant, in that very submission of the CBI, it was also mentioned that the family had asked for a second autopsy, and that the OC did not allow.
Yeah, the OC did not allow it, and it was categorically mentioned that the cremation was hurried,
Again, which had been
the
the common,
grounds exactly.
yeah, which had been a popular apprehension also if the cremation was done in haste
Or
and
if the body was forcefully cremated by the police.
right. So yes, when the argument tomorrow comes up, if the argument comes up, it would be very, very significant to see as what would be the counter of the state government. And thus, I agree with our viewer. Tomorrow's Supreme Court hearing would be very, very significant. Also for record, as we still have time, we can do our analysis and also can actually travel in other avenues as well. Also on record, Kolkata Police has said that Abhijit Mondal has done nothing wrong. In fact, Kolkata Police has said that they are there with Abhijit Mondal. That Abhijit Mondal, the arrested OC of Tala Police Station, that he has followed the procedure and that he has not done anything wrong. That he has not communicated the suicide theory to the bereaved family. That he had gone there on time and there was no delay.
I think the Kolkata police said that whatever he's done to the best of his abilities.
Absolutely. And in fact, we have those visuals of Kolkata Police senior IPS officer Mr. Solomon had gone and met with the family of Abhijit Mondal to assure that Kolkata Police is there with them and they would be fighting this matter. So obviously, tomorrow when the matter comes up before the Supreme Court, and most definitely this would be finding a mention in the status report, whether Kolkata Police or the state would be effectively countering that, vociferously countering that, again, we have to wait and see. But please understand, whether the state counters it before Supreme Court or not, it will not really decide any bail application that comes tomorrow. Because if the bail application comes, the bail application would be coming before the trial court first, before the lower court first, and then if it gets denied, eventually it can go to the higher court, and from there, from a single judge bench to a division bench, from division bench. Again, if it's denied, they can move to Supreme Court. So there is a legal procedure to follow. So tomorrow, while the counter argument can come from the state government, not effectively can it actually release the police officer who has been arrested, or can it absolve Sandeep Ghosh from this rape and murder case. And also important to mention, inside the courtroom, CBI counsel clearly told to the judge that the OC was not involved in the rape and the murder. Please hear it carefully.
Yeah.
The rape and the murder, the crime, as far as the crime is concerned, Abhijit Mondo was not involved. That's what CBI has said before the court yesterday. But why has he been arrested? He has been arrested on charges of alleged dereliction of duty, alleged tampering of evidences. If the alleged dereliction of duty had led to alleged tampering of evidences, so we will be doing a detailed report on that. We have certain documents to highlight, and we will be doing a story tomorrow. It's too late now. We are still working on this very story. I have the documents with me, the graphics plate, everything is almost ready. So obviously we will have a story to share tomorrow on this very subject. But going back to the Supreme Court hearing, yes. So what transpires in the Supreme Court tomorrow will be very, very interesting. Nonetheless, there is another aspect. What is the another aspect? I keep taking Titash's class like this.
He's taken it up on himself to embarrass Titash once in every life.
Sorry, we are laughing. We're just trying to keep our energy up to speed because we have been here without food or water for way too long. So obviously, we're trying to, you know, help each other stay motivated. So the other thing is, on 9th of September, Supreme Court asked junior doctors to get back to work by 10th of September, 5 p.m. And that hasn't happened. And the other thing is, while the Supreme Court observation came to Tash, it was not part of the order.
Yeah.
So because it was not part of the order, it is not like part of the order which can be challenged in before the court. It was an observation, but then Supreme Court's observation, as is the convention, is of equal significance. It is considered to be supreme. So if you are not adhering to the observation of the Supreme Court, for example, Supreme Court recently said about CBI in the matter of Arvind Kejriwal, caged parrot, caged parrot theory. That was Supreme Court's observation. Did Supreme Court actually say those two words, caged parrot, in the order? The answer is a no. But Supreme Court said the observation is what? Caged parrot for CBI. So that's what Supreme Court said. And that observation was equally a talking point, irrespective of who it suits and which political narrative it suits. But that also became a talking point because Supreme Court, from that chair, when they pass an observation or make an observation, it is considered to be of great significance. Similarly, from that same pedestal, when Supreme Court judges have made this observation that protesting doctors should get back to work.
Since the very beginning, the Supreme Court started hearing this case. Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud articulately mentioned that, justice and medicine are two things that simply cannot wait because there are so many people at the receiving end. So since the very beginning, the doctors were, kind of urged to get back to duty. Initially, they were asked by the Supreme Court and told to get back to duty. But on September 9th, the Supreme Court directed the doctors and said that, if the doctors fail to get back to duty by 5 p.m. September 10th, and then if the state takes any action against them, the Supreme Court would have nothing to say about it. That was the observation. And the Supreme Court, since the very beginning, had mentioned, D.Y. Chandrachud himself had said that justice and medicine are two things that simply cannot wait. So,
and I remember the Supreme Court, D.Y. Chandrachud also said, Chief Justice of India, he also said when the Council of Junior Doctors said, the senior doctors are working, D.Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, clearly said, you can't say that. If senior doctors are working, doesn't mean the junior doctors won't work. And the observation was that if they do not resume their duties by 5 p.m., 10th of September, that was Tuesday, then they can be exposed to disciplinary action if initiated by the appropriate authority. Here in this case, which are the appropriate authorities? The Health Department and the state government. And the state government has made it very clear they will not take any action. Mamata Banerjee not once, but twice from 3 different platforms have made it very, very clear that she will not be initiating any disciplinary action. But while she was saying so, she also drew analogy of what happened in some BJP ruled states. I'm not mentioning the name, as how ASMA was implemented, which essentially barred people from taking out rallies or protest demonstration. So in a way, that was an infringement into the fundamental rights.
And Mamata Banerjee clearly mentioned that, she respects their protest, she respects the movement, and she is not in support of emergency. She said that she's a leader who's been born out of the protest movement, so she totally shares the sentiment.
So tomorrow when the Supreme Court hearing happens, this as a matter of fact would definitely be raised, as junior doctors have not resumed their duties. Whether Supreme Court would be taking it as a violation of its observation, will whether the Supreme Court would see that as you know, I don't know if Supreme Court doesn't take it uh, in the spirit in which the doctors would want the Supreme Court to take it, if we can put it that way, even if they do not initiate any action. But then, it would be very, very significant to see as whether Supreme Court then asks for any kind of punitive, cognizable action on the ground. Whether adverse or positive, we don't know, don't really
because
know.
because you see these doctors have ceased work. It is going to be close to 40 days. It's been 39 days already, and there's no way that we can deny that the doctors, the junior doctors, form a very important clog in the healthcare machinery of the state, of the country
Absolutely,
at large.
absolutely,
And there are many patients who are on the receiving end of this as a direct consequence of the ceasefire.
absolutely, and I have one thing to say, but I'm not kind of insinuating or encouraging any kind of uh, 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 you know. Uh, any kind of sees work from every side, but it has effectively been a matter of concern for people visiting the government hospitals. Now, we all know who go to government hospitals, and I'm not trying to create any social discrimination or bring in the discrimination of strata that is existing in our society. There are poor people, there are lower middle class families, there are middle class families, there are upper middle class families, there are rich people, there are super rich people, there are people who never fall sick. Good luck to them. But then there are people who do fall sick. Every biological person at some point would fall sick. And people who cannot really afford a private healthcare system, they end up going to the government hospital. And when they go to government hospital, we have seen it. And I'm not trying to cast aspersions on the movement. Please understand. And I reiterate, if I've been covering the doctors' movement relentlessly, you have been covering the story relentlessly, please understand a person who is also affected because of non-availability of treatment because of this very incident equally becomes a stakeholder in this case, and that story has to be told. And you have said that. If that has rubbed people on the wrong side, I can't help it. We have just tried doing our job. We have just tried doing our job, and we are not trying to be on our defense or explain ourselves. But the fact of the matter is that when we have visited these medical hospitals, we have literally seen people suffer a lot of inconvenience. Somebody has been, literally armed down to the hospital. They could not find a wheelchair, or once they found a wheelchair, been wheeled inside. Then the emergency ward doctor said, "There is no senior doctor. Come down later." Somebody was suffering from breathlessness. We have that story, and that's the reason I can say this. Somebody was feeling breathlessness, and that person had been treated previously in Archicor, and thus knowing very well that there is a crisis over there. Yet they have come down because they expected cure and treatment with immediate medical intervention. And what happened? That poor lady was literally arm lifted and then walked around and then taken out of the hospital.
Okay, so she wasn't essentially suffering from breathlessness. She was suffering from seizures.
Absolutely,
So,
seizures, right?
So she was treated there 2 years back, and she was doing better. So
True.
the parents, in spite of the chaos that is going on, they decided to bring their daughter back, and the daughter was brought back. And Tamar, they came and they had to spend a whopping sum of 8,000 rupees just for one leg of their journey. So going back would mean another 8,000
And
rupees.
obviously, they can't go back with an ailing patient. They will, of course, need medical attention. So if they had left that Archicor Medical College and Hospital, unfortunately, could not follow them to another hospital because they were in an ambulance and they kind of rushed away. So if they had received medical intervention, well and good for the patient. But imagine if they have not received medical intervention immediately, or if had to wait, would anyone support that kind of a situation? A patient suffering, and a patient suffering or somebody losing life cannot be seen as a collateral damage. We all want justice. We all want justice.
And what it is, the patient parties also, the ones that had come in, they said that the doctors, we totally and wholeheartedly support
Imagine.
the doctors protesting.
Absolutely.
And it is something that they should be protested against. Her life so brutally cut short. But then again, at the same time, it is our family members who are having to bear the brunt of it. And not many people were willing to, come on camera and speak about it, because the condition is actually grim. Some are scared that, if they come on record and they speak about it, their family members might not be treated. And that is something we absolutely respect. We cannot force anyone. But then having said that, there are people on the ground who are facing the direct consequences of the ceasefire.
And you know what? The junior doctors too, even if there are social media warriors who are trying to hurl abuses at us for doing that story. In fact, there were people who literally hit out Titash at one point and they tried recording her. Also, somebody threatened that we would file an FIR against you because of misinformation. But then let's please understand, even junior doctors who have watched that report, they are in agreement that yes, there are people suffering, but they are not taking responsibility of that. They are saying if the junior doctors are so crucial in the scheme of things, and if the health system is paralyzing because of their cease work, it also talks volumes about the existing health infrastructure in the state. That is their point of agreement. But do they dismiss that there are people who are suffering? They don't. And they also say that when somebody suffers without any medical treatment, if somebody dies without a medical treatment, they do not see that as an achievement as a doctor. Because
that reflects poorly on them as well.
and that's what they have been saying, that as doctors we want to save lives. If somebody is dying, it's not something we enjoy or celebrate or we are proud of. We are absolutely equally heartbroken. But then there is a situation which has compelled everyone to take a standpoint, and maybe eventually it has led the situation snowball to where it is standing now. But can anyone really judge that side is wrong and this side is right, or this side is wrong or that side is right? No one can. We can't. But then there are social media warriors who kind of, you know, poke their nose into everything little too much, and we allow them to do that. They have a long nose. I don't. But then, nonetheless, coming back to this very spot, in my so many years of reporting career, and this is very important, in my so many years of reporting career, I don't remember when is the last time I have stand outside this very road leading to Chief Minister's residence and and had done live reporting. It's 10 o'clock. It's exactly 10 o'clock. It's 9:58, about to be 10. So it's 10 o'clock at night. Today is 16th of September. And on 10 o'clock night, we are still doing live reporting from outside the very road which leads to the Chief Minister's residence, because the junior doctors are still inside. While the anticipation and excitement broke out yet again after the junior doctors' bus had gone inside, and we were given to understand the meeting is over. Yes, the meeting is over. And if my assessment is right, I think both sides are now going through the minutes of the meeting. I think the meeting is over and both sides are going through the minutes of the meeting as documented by the other side. And as they swap each other's minutes of the meeting, they go through them point by point, word by word, to ensure that there is no tweak in the expression, there is no tweak in the meaning of that expression, no word is altering the expression, no word is damaging the expression, no word is destroying the sentiment. So all of that would be assessed, and both sides would then be validating the minutes of the meeting of the either side, and that's how that would eventually become an official document, which official in a sense, not government document, but official document of the meeting, that would give you a word picture, almost like a word video, which after reading or going through, you can realize what possibly has transpired in the meeting, things which have been deliberated upon, things which have been discussed, things where there is a closure, things which have been considered, things where assurances have been given. So all of that can be clear or come clear after the meeting, or the minutes of the meeting come to public. For now, we don't have it. It is presumed maybe the minutes of the meeting is being swept. That's the reason not all parties, maybe the chief minister is not there inside the meeting room, maybe, but I'm sure the government authorities will be there, or maybe the chief minister is also there inside the meeting room and would be personally going through the minutes of the meeting like the junior doctors would go. Imagine there are 40 people, 40 doctors who have gone, and 40 doctors represent their respective institution or point of interest, area of interest. And if all 40 doctors have spoken, and if all the 40 doctors want to individually go through the minutes of the meeting, it will be time consuming. So at this juncture, it's very, very significant to understand. It's 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, exactly 10 o'clock.
I think since documentation of this particular meeting had been the contention, the point of contention, from it being live streamed to video recorded to finally getting to the minutes, I think both parties would very articulately go through everything that has been discussed, all arguments that have been tossed from one place to another
Absolutely, absolutely.
before they actually physically sign on it.
Absolutely. So this meeting will eventually have the validation of the minutes of the meeting, and the minutes of the meeting essentially would confirm as what has happened inside the meeting. So as I was saying, I don't remember when is the last time in my these many years of reporting that I've come outside the chief minister's residence and then report at this late in the late hour. I remember when she had hurt herself, in Nundigram. Uh, from there, she was taken inside SSKM directly, and then we had stayed put outside the hospital all throughout the night. Thereafter, we had gone back to Nundigram again, and I'm talking about 2021 assembly elections. But that point in time, she was not here. And the day she was released, after 2 days, when she was released, I remember she was released around early evening, not very late in the evening, around early evening. So by the time she had gone inside, and even the reporters who had come here assembled to capture the moment of she in her wheelchair or in the vehicle going inside the house, it all got wind up by 7:30 or 8 at max. So that time too, we haven't really stayed put so late in the evening and report. So on a developing situation. So yes, it is a very, very significant developing situation. It is developing pretty late in the evening. It doesn't really seem like late because tomorrow is Vishwakarma Pujo. So all the viewers who are from Kolkata would know that what Vishwakarma Pujo is. People who are from Kolkata but now settled outside, they would also know how Vishwakarma Pujo, the kind of emotion is there. And over here, the Potter's Quarter, you have the idols of Vishwakarma being kept. And they're all being sold. So obviously there is a crowd of that particular festival too who are coming here
and
for
there's a
the
little
pujo.
bazaar that's going
There is
on,
a pujo
and
bazaar
there are
which is
bakis
also,
passing from here.
yeah, true. So all that is happening, and as I started my life early in the evening, Bhagwan Vishwakarma is considered to be the god of engineer, the god,
Machinery.
yeah, one he's a craftsman. He's a craftsman, and he one who engineers weapons for gods, one who engineers machines, one who builds machines. So at this point in time, what was needed for someone to engineer talks. So whether there was the blessing of Bhagavan Vishwakarma on this very meeting, where the talks have been engineered well and to a fruitful conclusion, you not really know. Again, you're not trivializing. You're just trying to make some small pet. What do you call it? Pet talks, small talks to keep our spirits uplifted. Well, here outside, just to give you a sense, as you see, there are people who are still outside who have come here long time back, and they're all waiting for the meeting to get over and all the people to come out so that they get a clarity as what has happened inside the meeting. There is a massive police bandobast. As you see, there are police people who are deployed on either side of the road just to ensure that when the bus leaves this very road, it has its own free passage. When the bus had gone inside, literally the bus was taken inside, something we did not see on Saturday. After all, this is the road, a very narrow lane. Those who have been on Harishchandra Street in Kalighat would know it's a very narrow lane. Generally, buses don't go inside. But then this very lane, which takes you to the Chief Minister's residence, over there on Saturday, the bus was not taken inside. The bus was not taken inside, but then we saw the doctors had gotten off the bus here at this very spot, and then they had all walked inside. But today, it seemed to be a different day and a different situation. Today, we saw the bus literally been taken inside, something we did not even see on Saturday. So the bus was taken inside, and the doctors were there inside that bus. Doctors came out, deboarded the bus, and then the bus came out, was parked here. Then the bus has left again from this spot and gone inside the very lane, and it has gone in reverse motion, which means the back of the bus has gone first, which means the bus will come out from this road. If somebody starts speculating if the bus will be leaving from the other side, no, that's not going to happen. And inside this very road, you don't have that much of space for a bus to to make a U-turn. No, impossible. Impossible. I'll give up driving if that happens. So that is not happening. So the bus will be coming out from this very lane. I'm not really sure what is taking so much of time. Obviously, it seems like the minutes of the meeting is now being studied, and obviously it's being assessed before they sign on it, and then they come out. I'm not really sure if they would issue a statement. Minded, the junior doctors have also said they will go back to Salt Lake and then issue a statement.
Yes, so while there is like a delegation of 40 people who have come over here, there are many others who are waiting at their protest site, which is in Shastro Bhavan. They have been camping outside Shastro Bhavan since last Monday, and they have stayed there. They have eaten their food. They have given slogans together. So there is a spirit of camaraderie and comradeship amongst everyone. So I think that, keeping that in mind, the doctors who had come down over here, they said that although they are like just a delegation representing them, they would want to give out their joint statement in the presence of all the people who have been a part of this protest since Monday, and not just since Monday. These are the very doctors who had been rallying around these certain demands since the unrest broke out. And I mean, there was a Lal Bajar Abhijan, and then there were rallies that were taken out by the doctors. There were rallies from Sham Bajar to Dharmutala. There were many rallies that happened, and the doctors have walked side by side. And at times we saw them taking a spinal cord. At times we saw them taking the model of a brain. It was side by side. I think in that spirit of comradeship, the idea was to give out a joint statement, to present a united front in front of the masses that this has happened, this has transpired, and this is what we have decided.
Well, that's right. In fact, the fact of the matter is the junior doctors are still inside. So it seems like the minutes of the meeting, just tighten it please. The minutes of the meeting would be very, very crucial, and the minutes of the meeting would also give us a sense as what has happened inside the meeting. As I've been saying, the meeting, first of its kind, happening between two sides, also very, very significant because we have seen they had come this close to the meeting room. That was on Thursday, and then again on Saturday, and the meeting did not happen. And I'm sorry if we are repeating ourselves, and if you find it gibberish, can't help it, because we are also trying to survive on this live because it's going on very long, and we are not really sure when they would come back. So every time we are trying to recap, it's not like gibberish. We are also trying to do it effectively for fresh viewers who are coming in, who would always want to appreciate a recap of memory. And for recap of memory, and for both of us to catch some breath, I would request my producer Shumon and Orko to kindly play the recap video that you have already made, a little longish 5-minute long video, which essentially shows at what happened on Thursday, what happened on Saturday, and what brought us to here on Monday evening. Is the video ready? Is the video ready? So kindly play that video. This is what happened on Thursday. This is what happened on Saturday. And this is how or why we are reporting from outside Kalighat, the very lane that takes you to Chief Minister's residence. Here's a quick recap to brush up your memory, to understand what happened on Thursday, what happened on Saturday, and why we still don't know what has happened on Monday.
Because a lot has happened.
Lot has happened. So watch it. We'll come back again. This is the first letter, first communication, and it was sent at 6:12 p.m. on Tuesday. So basically, they were expected to come down, to Navanno and meet with senior government officials. Second chain of communication. The second chain of communication comes from Chief Secretary in response to that email that was sent at 3:49 a.m. early on Wednesday morning. A response went from the Chief Secretary on Wednesday afternoon. Protesting junior doctors for the first time have come down for a meeting with the State Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, along with senior officials. Yes, you heard it right. For the past 2 days and plus, there had been a dharna going on outside the health headquarters of the state, that is Shastro Bhavan in Sorle. The meeting has not started. The Chief Secretary is holding a press conference, possibly is highlighting this. Please watch this visual carefully. The Chief Minister is waiting and the meeting has not started. It is
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री ওনাকে সবাইকে সময় দিয়েছিলেন। মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রী 5টা শিফট থেকে অপেক্ষা করছেন। এখন উনি 9:15 ওয়েট করছেন যাতে ওরা ডিসকাশনের জন্য ভিতরে আসুক। তো ওদের একটা ইস্যু আছে যেটা ওরা বলছে কি মিটিংয়ে লাইভ স্ট্রিমিং করতে হবে। আমরা আমাদের চিঠির মাধ্যমে জানিয়েছিলাম এটা লাইভ স্ট্রিমিং হবে না, আমরা এই ভিডিও রেকর্ডিং করবো যাতে এটা ভালো করে ডকুমেন্টেড থাকে।
মানুষের আবেগের কাছে আমি বলবো, আমি ক্ষমা চাইছি আপনাদের কাছে। আপনারাও আশায় ছিলেন আজকে সমস্যাটা সমাধান হয়ে যাবে। আমি 2 ঘন্টা বসে আছি, আমি 3 দিন ধরে বসে আছি। আমি শুধু একা নই, আমার সাথে হায়েস্ট অফিসিয়ালরা, আমরা প্রথম দিন থেকেই চেষ্টা করে যাচ্ছি। উই ট্রাইড আওয়ার বেস্ট। এরপরে আশা করি জনগণ আমাকে ক্ষমা করবেন আমার এই কটি কথা বলার জন্য। আমাদের নামে আমাকে অনেক অসম্মান করা হয়েছে। মানুষ এসেছিলেন বিচার চাইতে তিলোত্তমার, কিন্তু আশা করি মানুষ বুঝতে পারছেন ওরা বিচার চায় না, ওরা চায় চেয়ার। আমি মানুষের স্বার্থে এমনকি নিজে পদত্যাগ করতেও রাজি আছি। আমার মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর পদ চাই না, কিন্তু আমি চাই মানুষ বিচার পাক, তিলোত্তমা বিচার পাক, আর সাধারণ মানুষ চিকিৎসা পাক। আর তা না হলে কিন্তু আপনাদেরও যেমন আন্দোলন আছে, পরিবারগুলো যদি আমাদের কাছে কৈফিয়ত চাই, আমাদেরও তো কৈফিয়ত দিতে হবে। আমরা তার জন্য তৈরি থাকবো।
আমি বিশ্বাস করি যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গের যেসব সাধারণ মানুষরা আমাদের এই বক্তব্য এখন দেখছেন, তারা যদি দেখেন তারা বুঝতে পারবেন যে এর মধ্যে কোনো ইগো নেই, এর মধ্যে কোনো জেদ নেই, এর মধ্যে কোনো সরকার চেয়ার ফেলে দেওয়ার কোনো সুপ্ত বাসনা নেই, এর মধ্যে কোনো অহংকার নেই, কোনো ঔদ্ধত্য নেই।
এই মুহূর্তে মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় এসে পৌঁছালো।
আপনাদের দিদি হিসেবে আপনাদের কাছে আমি অনুরোধ করতে এসেছি, মুখ্যমন্ত্রী হিসেবে বলতে আসিনি। আমি আপনাদের দিদি হিসেবে বলতে এসেছি, যাতে আপনারা না ভাবেন হ্যাঁ আমি চিফ মিনিস্টার আছি, আমি একটা পার্টিও বিলংস করি, কিন্তু আপনাদের কাছে এসেছি যদি বলেন অ্যাজ এ চিফ মিনিস্টার, অ্যাজ এ এল্ডার সিস্টার, এবং আপনাদের আন্দোলনের সমব্যথী এবং সমসাথী।
তিন থেকে 3.5 ঘন্টা ওয়েট করেছি। বারবার এসে বলা হয়েছে, আমরা এখানে যাওয়ার আগে কিন্তু বলে গেছিলাম যে আমাদের মেলে লেখা আছে, যে মেলটা আমরা পাঠ করে গেছিলাম, যে আমরা 5 দফা দাবি নিয়ে আলোচনা করব এবং ট্রান্সপারেন্সি এবং স্বচ্ছভাবে আলোচনা করব। আমরা যাওয়ার আগে বলে গেছিলাম ওখানে গিয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করব যে স্বচ্ছতার মানে ওনাদের কাছে কি।
Junior doctors would be coming down. They have already started from Salt Lake and they would be coming down to the Chief Minister's residence. And there would be a meeting between the Chief Minister and the junior doctors. Well, the meeting was expected on Thursday. It did not happen. It did not happen because of the issue. It actually became a contentious one as live streaming would be allowed or not. The bus has come in and there you see the bus has come in, okay, and the bus would be going inside. So look there, all the doctors are now going inside one after the other. All the doctors are going inside one after the other, as you see.
Currently, the representatives of the delegation from the West Bengal's Junior Doctors Front has gone in to hold the much anticipated talk with West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. The talks come after Mamata Banerjee made a surprise visit today to Shastro Bhavan in the morning, and she said she comes there from the capacity of not a chief minister but as their Didi, which essentially means as their older sister, and advised them to get back to their work. And she also assured them.
So the meeting has not started. The meeting between the junior doctors and the Chief Minister has not started, and it seems like it is once again on the issue of live streaming.
আমাদের প্রতি মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর অবিশ্বাসের কোনো ব্যাপার নেই, বা সাধারণ মানুষের প্রতি মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর কোনো অবিশ্বাসের ব্যাপার নেই। এটা আমাদের প্রতি আমাদের যে ডক্টরি মাস, যারা ডাক্তারি জনতা, যারা এখন এই মুহূর্তে স্বাস্থ্য ভবনের সামনে রাস্তায় বসে আছে, তাদের কাছে জবাব দেওয়ার জন্য যে আমরা কি কথা বলেছি, এই উত্তরটি অত্যন্ত প্রয়োজন।
Chief Minister has also gone and spoken to the junior doctors. I can confirm the junior doctors are actually waiting right outside the entrance of the residence of of the Chief Minister.
আমি তোমাদের বলি, আমি হাত জোর করে বলছি, যদি আজকে প্লিজ এসো, কিন্তু তোমরা ভিজো না। তোমাদের অসুখ করলে আমার খারাপ লাগবে, প্লিজ এসো। অন্তত মিটিং না করো, তোমরা আমার কাছে এক কাপ চা খেয়ে যাও।
The residence of the Chief Minister and the doctors are now coming out. The bus is also taking its position. As you see, the bus would now be taking its position, and all the doctors are expected to go board the bus and go back. So what you saw was a quick recap of what really happened on Thursday and Saturday. Please understand, the ideal practice of journalism would be for us to mention the dates on every single frame. Due to paucity of time, with folded hands, you're seeking apology, not to send out any kind of a wrong information or misinterpretation. That, what you have seen in this quick recap are things which have happened between Thursday and Saturday. We wanted to engage with you all to brush up your memory as what really happened on Thursday and Saturday and what brought us once again here. Now, going back to today's meeting, which is of course a fresh development and still a developing situation because the doctors have not come out as yet. And if we can go back to the visual of doctors walking inside the Chief Minister's residence, if we can go back to that visual, it's a very significant visual because this was the first time that the doctors have entered inside the Chief Minister's residence and with the purpose to participate in the meeting. Now, when you see that visual, what do you see? You see the Chief Secretary, Manoj Pant, standing at the gate, greeting the doctors inside. The doctors are also handing over their mobile phones and then walking inside one after the other. They are also going through the security scanner without complaining. And obviously, they have been very, very respectful all this while. They have always been very, very mindful of their language and their conduct. After all, they are the doctors. They come from a certain strata of education, and that's what they have tried reflecting all throughout, no denying about it. So when the doctors had come inside, the Chief Secretary had greeted them in, and then the doctors had walked inside. What you're trying to essentially highlight is the body language. Neither there was any kind of hostility from the side of the state government, from the Chief Secretary, nor was there any kind of a hostility on the side of the junior doctors. Junior doctors did not even resist handing over their phones because they have also agreed that it would be only minutes of the meeting that would be documented. So that body language, in our journalism, we have been taught how to assess situation through body languages. So here, if we assess the body language, it seemed like it was a positive body language from both sides. While the email exchanges have only confirmed their standpoint vis-a-vis live streaming and video recording of the meeting is concerned, but this positive body language from both sides, it kind of indicate that both sides want this meeting to happen, and they also want this meeting to end in a fruitful manner so that the deadlock can end. And there is no denying about the fact that both sides have time and again stressed on the fact that they want this deadlock to end, but then they want to agree on a mutually agreeable situation where it is, in the best of the interest of both sides, both the state government and also for the doctors. Doctors are essentially harping on the fact that if there is a security concern inside the medical institutions, then that has to be addressed. If there is alleged malpractices, irregularities, corruption happening inside the medical hospitals and institutions, that too have to be corrected, and that they also can have a conducive and a healthy environment in order to treat patients. So as far as doctors are concerned, yes, their security is of utmost importance. Even before this heart-wrenching incident of the brutal rape and murder of the doctor at Arjikar Medical College and Hospital, we have also seen in the past how doctors have been assaulted by patient parties, irate patient parties, and that too had brought to fore as how our doctors can be vulnerable at times. So that too had been discussed and highlighted time and again by the doctors, and thus they want a holistic environment in medical institutions where doctors do not have to face any kind of untoward situation. Forget about rape and murder or any brutality, but even physical assault on doctors is absolutely unacceptable. They are the ones who give us life. They're actually treating us. So that also had been an equally pertinent point in the past, and I'm sure at this point in time, through the discussion, they are also trying to bring a situation where they are much more assured about the security apparatus inside medical institutions. On the other hand, for this very subject, we have seen the state DGP, Rajiv Kumar, senior IPS officer, holding press conference himself, and he had addressed this very pressing concern of the doctors, as he said. The junior doctors should go back to their respective workspace and they would see the changes as far as security construct is concerned. So obviously, both sides have tried reaching out to each other in their ways and means, and you have to now wait and see as what has happened inside the meeting room. As you have tried deliberating upon the body language, it seemed like positive from both sides. And as we stand here and report on the developing situation, somebody also said there is a possibility of a press conference too. Now, we cannot really confirm if the press conference would happen, but we also know, as a matter of fact, that the Chief Minister on Thursday, after the Novanna Shobhagon meeting had failed, she herself had held a press conference and she had said that instead of insisting on live streaming or videography of the meeting could have happened and then thereafter there could have been a joint press conference. Now, because she had said that on Thursday, now when I get to hear some passing comment that there is a possibility of a press conference, well, we cannot really dismiss that.
It could be a possibility.
It could be a possibility, but only concern is the fact that they have taken the bus inside. They could have waited for all of this.
Not just that, I think the students or the protesting doctors were very clear from on their standpoint and very succinct to this point, where they mentioned that whatever statements we issue pertaining to siege work, pertaining to discussions, pertaining to minutes, everything will happen once we are back at the Shastra.
Absolutely.
It was very articulately said.
So yeah, obviously. So we are now waiting for the doctors to come out. We are trying to we are reaching out to all our viewers because your engagement, your viewership would only make this live, and our effort to do independent journalism, standing on the ground from the ground, would also be a successful endeavor if you all stay with us. Even if there is one person, we would continue with the live stream. But then more the people, more the merry it is, more the merry, because after all, this is for you all. It is not for us. So if you are watching this, please stay with us because we are not holding on to the situation. It is we are only reporting from outside. I'm sure you all are curious to know what's happening inside. And factual information as what happens when you have confirmation as whether the meeting has been positive, if it becomes positive, if not, do even reporting, clarity and the confirmation happens in the ahead. I'm being told that there is some network glitch happening, so I'm being told to change our location a bit. Producers, do let us know if the bandwidth improves. If the bandwidth improves, do let us know. So I've just come back to the previous position of standing right in front of the Kalighat gate, and I'm sure you can see it. So obviously, we are still reporting from outside the very road which leads to the Chief Minister's residence. And obviously, we are trying to report on the developing situation. We have shown you the recap of what really happened on Thursday and Saturday. We have also taken you through as what brought the meeting. Today, we have also tried showing us how people had gone inside. The doctors had gone inside. There are 40 people who have gone inside, plus 2 stenographers, 42 total. They have gone inside. They came in a bus. The bus was given an escort by the police, and it was escorted down here. The escort vehicle, and of course the bus which brought the doctors here, that too has gone inside, which is an indication the meeting is over. Whether the meeting is over completely and the minutes of the meeting documentation and the assessment of it, studying of it is also over. Again, we have to wait for an official confirmation. We are waiting for the doctors to come out. If they kindly issue a statement here, would be great. If there is any joint press conference, again, we will be reporting on that. But for now, as things stand, we can only confirm, as a matter of fact, that the first meeting between the two sides have come to an end. The meeting has happened, which itself is a major development. And
which
this,
at this point feels like a feat because
absolutely.
because twice this meeting was almost about to happen. On Thursday, we saw in front of Novanna Shabhagar that the doctors were squatting outside while the CM was sitting inside, and she said she had been waiting for over 2 hours. On Saturday, what felt like they would almost meet. They were at the very gate of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's residence, and the meeting did not happen. Even today, when we were reporting since the evening, there was this question. There was a question mark at all the end of all these sentences. If the meeting would happen, if the doctors would go in, if the authorities would be there, if the talks would be held, what would come out of it. But for now, for sure, we know that the meeting has happened. Meeting between both the parties, that is the representatives of the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front and the state of West Bengal, which also included West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. So now they have essentially put forth all their queries and all their demands before the Chief Minister. And the Chief Minister had also mentioned on Saturday that she would personally be looking into all their allegations and demands, and she assured them that if they get back to work, she would definitely make sure that if someone is found guilty, that person would be punished. And ensuring a safe and conducive workspace for the doctors is something that she, as a representative of the state, too wants. Having said that, she also reiterated her stance, and she said that when it comes to seeking justice, everyone is on the same page. She too, much like the doctors who had been clamoring and rallying for justice for the last 39 days, wants justice for the 31-year-old PGT doctor who was so brutally raped and murdered. She even took out a rally where she openly called for capital punishment for the accused who was arrested by the Kolkata police and is now in the CBI's custody. So as far as justice is concerned, everyone is in the same page. But then the allegations of threat culture, or the lack of a conducive workspace environment, all of these concerns are some of the concerns which have been raised by the protesting doctors in front of the Chief Minister herself. Today she is definitely going to, by the looks of it, seems that she's going to take stock of it, and what comes out of it, what the doctors gain out of it, or what the direct outcome of it is. If the doctors would call off their protests and get back to resume their work, that is also something we have to wait and see. For now, everything is like a big question mark, answers to which we are all waiting for. The bus which had brought the doctors here has now gone in, but the doctors haven't come out as yet. It has been over an hour that the bus has gone in. Yeah, it has.
Yes.
It has been well over an hour that the bus has gone in, and the doctors are yet to come out. I think it is because of the documentation process. The whole
It's
the,
exactly 1 hour 41 minutes.
Okay. So 1 hour
and
41 minutes,
that the bus
almost
has gone
close to
inside.
2 hours that the bus is now inside.
Yeah.
So I think since the documentation or the method of documentation of this particular meeting was the bone of contention since the very beginning, I think everyone is taking their time to go through the minutes, see if everything is fine, see if there are no discrepancies, see if something has been missed or not, and then physically sign on it. That is the clause that was agreed upon by both parties before the meeting started, before the whole idea of live streaming or video recording was kind of set aside. The clause to which the doctors agreed at the same time the state also came to a mediating ground was this clause of documenting the minutes of the meeting for record. And it has been documented from both sides. The doctors have brought with them two professional stenographers. At the same time, the government too has their own documentation. So at the end of the meeting, it's like exchanging the documents and seeing who has gotten what, and what comes out of it is the biggest question, I think.
Absolutely. Viewers, I wish I can take all your questions. You can actually write your questions and we'll try and take them with best of our abilities. You both are reporting with one phone and one stand. So every time I have to read the question, I have to go on the other side to read the questions coming up. But nonetheless, your engagement matters, your views matters, and your connection with us matters. Somebody has written that, Tamal, you look exhausted, hydrate yourself. Well, ma'am, thank you so much for your concern, but we are not the story. I am not the story. She is not the story. I think the doctors have been putting up a fight. They have been camping outside Shastro Bhavan for over 7 days now. They have not shown any signs of exhaust. The people have been protesting on the street. They have not shown any signs of exhaust. So our sign of exhaust is very, very, very minuscule before them, and we don't care much. So we only care about the people. And of course, at this point in time, as we see things develop, we are trying to report on it, and we are trying to ensure that we report factually everything that is right. We do see some movement happening on that side again, But again, we have been seeing such, such trigger every time. Yeah, Tita, just go and check once. We do see some movement happening over there. Not really sure what's going on, but then I'm mindful of the bandwidth, and that's the reason I'm not essentially going that side, fearing that I would lose connect with you all. But at this juncture, yes, it's 10:30 at night. It's 10:31, and it was 6:27 when the junior doctor 6:17. Beg your pardon, 6:17 when the junior doctors bus had gone inside this very lane. So it's been several hours. It's been over 4 hours now that they had gone inside, and probably the meeting has lasted for over 2 hours. That's what you've been told, that the meeting has lasted for over 2 hours, as you've been repeatedly stressing on the fact that minutes of the meeting could be very exhausting a process, very exhaustive a process, and that's what essentially could be taking a lot of time, because both sides have their own documentation, and then they would be swapping their own documents, and either side would be going as what's being documented by the other side. Once they find any corrections in them, they would be highlighting them. If there are no corrections needed, then they would be signing on them as an approval of the minutes of the meeting as been documented by the either side. So obviously, uh, uh, okay, somebody has written, we want justice for Arji Kaur. Yes, we all want justice. Uh, somebody has written, Shobik Pal has written, I don't think only first meeting will be the final one. Shobik Pal has written, I don't think the first meeting would be the final one. Again, yeah, it's important to understand whether this meeting is the only one or there would be more meetings. It's very, very difficult for us to get into conjectures or speculate as whether this meeting has been inconclusive or not so fruitful, and that there would be more meetings. Yes, there is a possibility of more meetings to happen in the future. There could be more meetings in the future if both sides agree, and that would only mean that the first meeting has opened the door for future meetings, and that would only mean that the first meeting has been a conducive one where both sides have agreed to engage further in the future. So that, again, we have to wait and see. Waiting for tomorrow's hearing, writes Anit Sadhu. Anit Sadhu writes, I'm waiting for. Okay, let the reporters go inside. I'll go inside later. As it is, if there is any a live press conference, we would be getting the output. But I am not really sure if they are going inside. Uh, I am not really sure if the reporters are going inside. I do see all the camera people standing over there. That's what is happening. All the camera people are standing over there. Not really sure if they would be allowed to go inside, and if all of us are allowed to go inside, which would mean that there would be a possible press conference, maybe a joint press conference. Not really sure, but then yes, as the time tickles down and the watch is tickling down, it is clear that the meeting has lasted. The engagement has lasted for over 4 hours, which is very, very significant. This happening right before the Supreme Court hearing tomorrow. It becomes very, very significant. Somebody has written, okay.
I'll give you the comments. I'll give you.
Okay, somebody has written, there is a protest going on near the camera people. Divya Patani writes, Divya, no, there is no protest happening near the camera people. Please understand, I've tried clarifying this. There are people who have assembled, and obviously, when there is live broadcast happening by channels, people do express their opinion, and emotions being so charged up. There could be some shouting, some vocal expression of the expression, the emotion rather, and that kind of make it look like chaotic, but then there is no chaos unfolding. It's absolutely under control. It's absolutely peaceful. There are onlookers who are standing. There are people who have assembled, and they are only at times talking to media, and when they're engaging with media on the live broadcast, their expressions are only triggering some sort of an emotion. That's it. All right. There are more comments which is coming in. Somebody, Divya writes, sorry, my bad, don't worry. I'm glad you are asking this question and we are here to clarify. There are Utpal Paul is writing, yeah, let's see what happens in Supreme Court. You all need to see what Supreme Court says tomorrow. Again, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what transpires in the Supreme Court tomorrow, because Supreme Court minded had only said in the past that, you know, that junior doctors have to get back to work, which hasn't really happened as yet. But because Supreme Court has not made it part of the order Thus, it is not part of the order officially. However, like I gave the comparison and example just a short while back, that Supreme Court, while hearing the CBI's Arvind Kejriwal's matter too on Thursday, while had granted bail to Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi Chief Minister, Supreme Court judge had passed this observation that is CBI a caged parrot? We heard this back in 2014, and that analogy was once again drawn parallel with while Supreme Court was granting bail to Arvind Kejriwal. But then that observation did not become part of the order, which essentially reads the bail approval to Arvind Kejriwal. So there is always a difference between observation and the official order. But what the Supreme Court says as an observation, it is equally a talking point. Like when Supreme Court said, as whether CBI is a cage parrot, that became the talking point. Similarly, now when Supreme Court has passed this observation that junior doctors should get back to their duties by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, that was the deadline set. Even though that was an observation, that observation is of absolute significance. So whether Supreme Court takes any strong position because that observation was not respected, again we have to wait and see. But the Supreme Court last time had made it very clear, if the junior doctors do not report to work by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, then they are open to any disciplinary action if being initiated. So Supreme Court did not say that we will initiate disciplinary action. It is subject to the appropriate authority. Here in this case would be the Health Department of the state. And the Health Department of the state, including the Chief Minister herself, they made it very, very clear, abundantly clear, at least in 4 different occasions, that they are not willing to take any disciplinary action against any of the protesting doctors, that they do not believe in quote-unquote emergency, that they do not want to implement asthma, and they will not ever come in the way of freedom of people holding protest and likewise. So obviously, as far as Supreme Court's observation is concerned, can that have a negative impact on doctors? Again, we can't really confirm that because Supreme Court did not say that in those many words in black and white as far as the order is concerned. And Supreme Court also left it open to the appropriate authority to initiate disciplinary action if their jurisprudence allows. Here, in this case of state government of Mamata Banerjee, they have decided they will not initiate. So what would be the Supreme Court stance as far as junior doctors not resuming work is concerned? Again, we have to wait and see. So at this point in time, I do see some movement over there, but then not necessarily a confirmation as whether there would be a joint press conference or any press conference inside the residence of the Chief Minister. At this juncture, there are several media people who have come down. They're all stationed at the very barricaded position, waiting for a clarity if they would be allowed inside. Just a short while back, I saw more barricades being brought near to the media assembling point just to ensure that nothing untoward happens. So at this juncture, yes, what's happening inside, what's brewing inside, what is the coffee brewing or how is the tea brewing inside, not really known. And I cannot really give you any kind of an indication as what has transpired in the meeting. Nobody knows. I repeat myself, nobody knows. And I can bet my journalistic career, nobody knows as what has happened inside the meeting, because all those who have gone inside the meeting room, they had left their phones behind. I'm not really sure if they have gone back to their phones as yet. So for the sake of the sanctity of the meeting, as being agreed by both sides, that it would be absolutely private and minutes of the meeting would be only documented. So obviously, I don't think anybody would want to breach that agreed position where somebody would try and smuggle in a phone and then try and pass on information to media people outside. I don't think that is the case. We're also, after all, talking about the Chief Minister's residence, where definitely there would be security arrangements in place. So obviously, if anybody says that they know the inside information, best of luck, whether you want to trust that person or not. But I don't know. And with my hands up in the air, surrender myself, I have not received any single information as yet from inside as what has transpired. And that is the reason we're waiting for a black and white official confirmation as what has happened inside. When the junior doctors come out, if they issue a press statement here, or when the junior doctors reach to the protest side, if they issue a statement there, or if there is a press conference now taken by the Chief Minister, or if there is a joint press conference taken out by both sides from a common platform, unless any of that happens, we cannot really confirm as what has happened inside the meeting. But the very fact that junior doctors have come down for the meeting and has agreed for the meeting, even though there had been strong positions from their side vis-a-vis the meeting called on Thursday and Saturday. It is softening on stance or as far as doctors are concerned, also agreeing to minutes of meeting, is indication of softening of stance on part of the state government. So both sides have shown that positivity and the intent to engage for a meeting in order to ensure there is a way out in the interest of the state, in the interest of the health facility, in the interest of the health infrastructure, in the interest of those who need medical attention, in the interest of the doctors who are seeking for better secured environment, in the interest of everyone who is seeking justice for the fallen doctor or the bereaved family. So obviously at this juncture there is a lot of curiosity which is built up, no denying about it, and the curiosity is all justified. The curiosity is absolutely valid, legitimate, and it's justified. And obviously, at this juncture, many people have come down here. They're all patiently waiting at one point, and they are only waiting for people to come out and give us a clarity as what has transpired inside the meeting and what has possibly happened inside the meeting. First up, there is. Uh, Okay, somebody has written at what time will the Supreme Court hearing take place? Divya has asked. Supreme Court hearing would happen tomorrow in the first half itself. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, before 11 o'clock, by 10:30, quarter to 11, the hearing should start. And second half, there is miscellaneous. All right, somebody has written that on the first half there is some miscellaneous thing, and in second half, in all likeliness, this hearing can happen. I will not argue. In the last two occasions, you have seen the hearing on this very case happen in the first half itself. Well, tomorrow what happens, you have to wait and see. Ankit Banerjee is writing, I don't think there will be complete resumption of activities, but the resident doctors probably have agreed to resume their work in emergency and surgical departments to reduce the backlog of pending OTs. That is what Ankit Banerjee is writing. Ankit Banerjee's opinion is this. He writes that I don't think there will be complete resumption of activities, but the resident doctors probably will probably have agreed to resume their work in emergency and surgical departments in order to reduce the backlog of pending OTs. Well, it is Ankit Banerjee's opinion. Ankit, not really sure if this is what has happened. Again, as I said, we would be waiting for an official confirmation. Well, when you write this, I'm sure you understand. You too understand that there could be pending OTs in the backlog now, and backlog in medical facility is way too different than a case of backlog cases in judiciary. Neither is appreciated, but when OTs go in the backlog, as you have only mentioned, it creates a situation which is not in the best of interest of the health of patients
It's a human life at stake.
it's human life at stake. Then somebody has written, okay, Shobik Pal writes, wish there is some fruitful outcome of this meeting, fingers crossed. Shobik Pal writes, wish there is some fruitful outcome of this meeting, fingers crossed. Shobik, if you are counting your two fingers as crossed, count mine, count Titashe's, count my fingers too as well, both my hands. So one double. I think people who have come here all have their fingers crossed. Even the doctors have their fingers crossed. The state have their fingers crossed. All have their fingers crossed. Rishi Sharkar is asking, is doctors came out? No, Rishi, the doctors have not come out as yet, and that's the reason you're still standing outside the very lane that takes you inside the residence of the chief minister. But then they are yet to come out. The bus which had carried them inside is there inside park, and hopefully it will be coming out in the same direction, because the little driving sense that I have, the lane inside is so narrow, a bus cannot take a U-turn. A vehicle takes a lot of struggle to do a U-turn. A bus most definitely cannot do a U-turn, and the bus has gone inside backwards in reverse gear. So which means the bus would most definitely would be coming out from the same road as it has gone inside. So it will be coming out from the same road, from the same way. Okay, so there are people who are writing to us, and we appreciate all of them for connecting with us. People who are joining us now. A quick recap: since 5 o'clock in the evening, we have been live here, standing, and we have been reporting on this developing situation. As the message from the state government went, fifth and final attempt to invite people for talks and for the talks to happen, to which the doctors had responded, and the doctors had also given some condition that they would want the live streaming, if not live streaming, video recording, if not video recording, then minutes of the meeting, and if minutes of the meeting, then they would be taking their own stenographer. The last option, that is the third option, minutes of the meeting, that was agreed upon. Their stenographers have also gone inside, and the meeting has started long back. The meeting is also over long back, but the doctors are yet to come out. Again, what is taking so long? It is subject to a lot of speculation. To my understanding, it could be purely because of the minutes of the meeting. It's a very exhaustive process. If the meeting has lasted for 2 hours, then obviously Did
120 minutes.
120 minutes and then the minute
120 minutes of what people have said. There are arguments, counter arguments, observations, solutions, allegation, demands. So you can understand the different kinds of things that have been volleyed to and fro in the meeting that has taken place today. So it is only natural that it is taking so long. And since documentation of this meeting was one of the main issues that took so long for the meeting to actually happen. On Thursday, the meeting did not happen because, again, the courtesy live streaming. Then again, we come down to Saturday. Saturday, when it seemed like the meeting is almost about to happen, it fell through because, again, the issue was with either live streaming or video recording of the same. But then today, we saw that both parties agreed on, documentation of the minutes of the particular meeting that has taken place between Mamata Banerjee and the representatives of the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front. And it was agreed upon that both parties would have their own minutes, and at the end of the meeting, they would exchange that and go through and very meticulously go through each and every observation that has been made. After which, each and every person who was present in the room would sign on it.
has been demanded by the doctors.
Yeah, has been demanded by the doctors.
And Pritash, before we proceed with the live, I want to show something. I don't want to show the amount, but then Tuhin Bhattacharjee has been very kindly given us super thanks, and he has also sent in little monetary help to us with the message. Thank you again for bringing in so much of nuance to this issue and talking about its complexities. Really hoping this impasse ends. Tuhin, we sincerely respect your kindness, your gesture, your faith in us, your trust in us, your empathy, your support, and your viewership. Everything, along with everyone else, those who have supported us and those who do not support us. All of them are very, very dear to us, and this little gesture is very, very, very dear to us. I thank you on behalf of my team. Sincerely, heartfelt thanks to you. So, we are receiving a lot of comments from people, and thus I thought I should take this moment personally to thank to our viewers. Yes, Titash, carry on.
So when we are talking about the meeting, it is important to remember that it is not just any meeting that is happening between two stakeholders of a particular issue, but it is a very nuanced issue and it has multiple facets and multiple stakeholders. And it is important to remember that the 40 delegates representing the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front essentially comprises of doctors all across, of medical colleges all across the state of Bengal. So if there are people from RG Court, there are people from SSKM. If there are people from SSKM, there are people from NRS. So similarly, there are representatives of each and every medical hospital across the state, and they have all gone in with their, the 5 umbrella demands. Now, under those 5 huge umbrella demands, there are other demands, secondary, tertiary demands, tail demands to it. So you can understand how long the discussion might have transpired. And then physically documenting that, if we roughly say that the meeting has lasted for 2 hours, 2 hours essentially translates to 120 minutes.
Could be more than that.
Could be more than that. Exactly. We're just saying, just arbitrarily, let's take it for granted that the meeting has lasted for 2 hours. So 2 hours is essentially translating to 120 minutes. So now there are 40 people who would speak. Now then there would be the state who would also give their observations. I'm sure the Chief Minister must have said something. The Chief Secretary must have said something. Chandra Bhattacharya might have said something. So it's like a lot of arguments and counter arguments that we're dealing with over here. And since the documentation process of this whole meeting or of this whole coming together of both these very important stakeholders of this issue face to face in one room was so important and almost was the pivot on which this whole meeting was revolving. Therefore, it is only natural that it is taking so long for the doctors to come out. And, it's been around almost, it's going to be 11, so it's
you never know,
quarter to 11.
You never know, the bus has gone inside to bring them out, and then suddenly both sides had agreed to have another round of meeting.
Could be, absolutely. So, from here, when you just try to see the bus is there, the bus is empty, no one's climbed into it, there is just police guarding the bus. So we for sure know that the doctors are still inside the Chief Minister's house. The bus is right outside the Chief Minister's house, and you can see the bus from the road over here. It's a huge bus. So you can, of course, see it, and no one's climbed atop it. So it is safe to say that all the doctors are inside, and Today, what we saw was absolutely very, very, kind of a breakthrough in this impasse, because both the parties were trying to hold a discussion, and the doctors have maintained that it is through discussion and debate only that this issue could be resolved. Because it's been almost it's 39 days, and 39 days is a long time. And the doctors have said that we are doctors by profession, and it is in our blood to serve the people. We too also want to go back to duty, and a life lost is something that also reflects poorly on us. Not just that, a life lost is a life lost. So the doctors are also inching to get back to their duty, but then they have also said that we can only serve people if the conditions in which we are serving is conducive. So that is the whole issue. That is the whole issue around which the doctors are rallying. So it is only a matter of time before we see what the doctors come up with, or what the state comes up with. And we'll have to wait and see what happens, because for now, everyone, the entire battery of media along with us, we are all stationed outside the lane which leads to West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's house, and the doctors are inside. And at the same time, I was just a while back talking to a couple of others who are present at the protest site in Shastro Bhavan. They too are waiting for all the representatives to go back, so that they can if it is going to be a hurrah for them, or if it is going to be something disappointing, is something we will also, along with them, we will also get to know in a while. But they too are waiting, and in continuous sloganeering and posters, and um, all waiting in anticipation of the
Right.
doctors to come back.
Right. In fact, in fact, I've just sent a picture on the group. The junior doctors who are there, seated outside Shastro Bhavan. Over there, some of the junior doctors are also posting pictures on their own common WhatsApp group. And this picture, which I've just sent, they're also it basically shows kites with written "Justice for Arjikor," right? Yeah, just show that picture in case I've just sent. Yeah, this is how it looks like. They're also equally waiting for the doctors to come out, issue a statement. They're also waiting for the doctors to reach there and give some clarity. In the meantime, what they're essentially doing, they're trying to share their thoughts, to keep their morals up, and of course, like we are in absolute dark as what is happening inside the residence of the chief minister between both sides. Equally, they are also in dark. They are also probably not in not privy to what has happened or is still happening. So obviously at this point in time, a lot of curiosity is building up, and a lot of speculation is also building up, because the demands which have been made by the junior doctors, the demands which have been made by the junior doctors. And if we can talk about the demands very quickly. Demand number one: justice for Arjikor, justice for the fallen doctor. Demand number two: suspension of Principal Secretary Health, Narayan Nigam. Also, action being taken against other health officials. Demand number three: suspension of Vineet Goyal, Police Commissioner. Disciplinary action against DC Central and DC North. Then suspension of Shondeep Ghosh, who is being arrested by CBI in connection with the corruption case, re-arrested in connection with the rape and murder case for allegedly tampering with the evidences, misleading the investigation. Demand number five: safer and secured environment and workplace.
Threat culture.
And demand number, and that also included the end of threat culture. So when all these five demands, they had said that they are the principal demands they want deliberation on, and they want the meeting to focus on these five demands. Whether if one of the demands being met, or any sign shown that they are agreeing to fulfill one demand, maybe tomorrow or tonight or day after, will that really assuage the protesting doctors? Again, we have to wait and see. And I'm being drawn to one particular statement from the chief minister, which she has said in a press conference couple of days back, when she had said, in fact, that was an administrative meeting where she has said that they have been doing in best of their ability to help the cause, and of course ensure that everything is free, fair, and transparent. And also refer to the demand that the chief police commissioner's resignation, that the demand which had been made by doctors, to which she had said that why can't you wait for some time? Durga Puja is coming, festival is coming. A police officer knows the situation better than many others. So when she did not dismiss the possibility that no, I will not ensure that happens. No, I stand by police commissioner. She did not say that. She said instead, why don't you wait for some more? Why don't you wait for some more time? That the police commissioner himself had come and offered his resignation. Well, that is what is coming to my mind at this juncture, because if there happens a situation where out of 5 demands, if one is being kept, I don't know which one, and if that would assuage the protesting doctors and they would end their siege work, and because the chief minister had once referred to police commissioner's resignation in this manner, then why don't you wait for some time? If that was an indication that you can hold on for some time, it can happen in the future. Just hold on for now. This is not the appropriate time. So, not really sure if that is something becomes a handy or an option, or if that is something which can happen or would happen. To be very honest, while I am absolutely against the speculation culture, I am speculating now, trying to engage with you all, and of course, also to ensure that we be around the discussion of tonight as the situation is still developing. So we are absolutely unsure as what has happened inside. The only thing that we are sure about is the meeting has happened. Probably the meeting has ended, and what has transpired inside the meeting, not known to anyone. I would just want Titash to take over for a minute. I'm getting a phone call. And I think it could be an important one. So just take it over from
So currently, the meeting that was ongoing between West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and the representatives of the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front, as by the looks of it, seems that it is over. But now we are still waiting for the junior doctors to come out of her house and see what has essentially transpired out of the meeting. Just to give a little recapitulation of what led to what, and this meeting happened. Since Thursday, the state had been trying to get the doctors, and the doctors at the same time had wanted to sit down and hold a discussion between the state and the doctors. So the siege work had been ongoing, and then happened the Shastra Bhavan Abhijan, and the junior doctors, they were camping outside the Shastra Bhavan in Salt Lake. So when Mamata Banerjee made a surprise visit on Saturday, after the talks had failed on Thursday, she made a surprise visit on Saturday. And she had told them that, you are braving this inclement weather, and I have also very closely been monitoring the situation because the weather is not conducive. It has been raining incessantly, and the weather conditions truly were not in their best. So she had said that, I come here as your Didi, as your sister, and I come here and urge you to get back to work. And I assure you that whatever happens, if you get back to work, all your demands, all your allegations will be looked into personally by her, and then she would make sure that the demands are met. So now, having said that, it is also important to mention that on Saturday, after this particular Mamata Banerjee surprise visit, what happened is the junior doctors representing the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front, they mailed back to the Chief Secretary and said that, Mamata Banerjee's gesture, Mamata Banerjee coming down in person to the protest site unannounced, is something that they welcome, and they too want a discussion with the state at the earliest. After which, they were invited to Mamata Banerjee's house on Saturday, but then they were here, the protesting doctors were here, but then the meeting fell short because, again, the point of contention being live streaming. After live streaming, the government they had suggested that, they had brought in a videographer of their own, and they had suggested we take a video of it. That too was also kind of not allowed because this is Mamata Banerjee's personal residence, and citing security concerns, they had said that it is not possible to accommodate live streaming or video recording of any of this nature. So the meeting did not happen. So today, when the meeting happened, when an invitation was volleyed towards the protesting doctors for the fifth and the final time, quote unquote in the letter, fifth and the final time, it was clearly mentioned that live streaming or video recording of any format will not be allowed. To which the doctors again sent their counter mail, which stated 3 options, which is A, live streaming. If not live streaming, then video recording. If not video recording, then it would be both parties would record the minutes of the meeting, and then at the end they would exchange it. So to which the third clause, the state agreed. After which the doctors they said that, okay, fine, we are going to have this meeting and we are going to bring 2 professional stenographers along with us who would, help us in. Meeting has also happened by the looks. Are inside.
বাইটটা প্লে করো।
সেই দাবিতে কিন্তু আমরা অনড় আছি এখনো, যে আমরা লাইভ স্ট্রিমিং করে মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর রেসিডেন্ট কালীঘাটে আমরা গিয়েছিলাম এবং সেখানে আমরা আমাদের ওই অনড় জায়গাটা দেখিয়েছিলাম, এটা আপনারা সবাই জানেন। সেটাও যেমন ঠিক, সেদিক দিয়ে আজকের আমাদের আবার মেল করা হয়েছে, আমরা সেই মেলের উত্তর দিয়েছি এবং আমরা আজকের যে জায়গাতে দাঁড়িয়েছি সেটা হলো আমরা দুদিক দিয়ে মিটিংটা আমরা চাই এবং সত্য যাতে বেরিয়ে আসে, এই জন্য আমরা কিছু পাবো না। আজকের যে জায়গায় দাঁড়িয়েছি আমাদের প্রফেশনাল স্টেনোগ্রাফার নিয়ে আমরা যাবো মাইনরস অফ দ্য মিটিং এর প্রত্যেকটা ওয়ার্ড ওখানে সুন্দর করে লেখা হবে এবং দুটো দিকের যারা মিটিং এ থাকবে সবার সিগনেচার থাকবে। এই জিনিসটা নিয়েই তবে আমরা আজকে ফিরবো। আমরা প্রথম থেকে যে যুদ্ধটা করে আসছি, কোনোভাবে কেউ এটা মনে করবেন না যে সে যুদ্ধ থেকে আমরা এক পাও পিছিয়ে আছি। আমরা কিন্তু সেই যুদ্ধে থাকবো, আছি এবং আমরা ওই অন্যায়ের বিরুদ্ধে প্রতিবাদ করেছি, করবো।
ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াই এবং সেই ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াই থেকে আমরা দেখতে চাই যে ওনারা এই ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াইকে কত দূর নিয়ে যেতে পারেন। সেই ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াইয়ে ডাক দিয়েই আমরা যাচ্ছি। বন্ধুরা, আপনারা সবাই আমাদের সাথে আছেন এবং আমরা কোন রকম কোন সিদ্ধান্ত ওখানে নেব না। এখানে এসে সবার সাথে কথা বলে আমরা সমস্ত সিদ্ধান্ত নেব। তাতে যদি আন্দোলন আরো তীব্র থেকে তীব্রতর হয়,
সেই দাবিতে কিন্তু আমরা অনড় আছি এখনো, যে আমরা লাইভ স্ট্রিমিং করে মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর রেসিডেন্ট কালীঘাটে আমরা গিয়েছিলাম এবং সেখানে আমরা আমাদের ওই অনড় জায়গাটা দেখিয়েছিলাম, এটা আপনারা সবাই জানেন। সেটাও যেমন ঠিক, সেদিক দিয়ে আজকের আমাদের আবার মেল করা হয়েছে, আমরা সেই মেলের উত্তর দিয়েছি এবং আমরা আজকের যে জায়গাতে দাঁড়িয়েছি সেটা হলো আমরা দুদিক দিয়ে মিটিংটা আমরা চাই এবং সত্য যাতে বেরিয়ে আসে, এই জন্য আমরা কিছু পাবো না। আজকের যে জায়গায় দাঁড়িয়েছি আমাদের প্রফেশনাল স্টেনোগ্রাফার নিয়ে আমরা যাবো মাইনরস অফ দ্য মিটিং এর প্রত্যেকটা ওয়ার্ড ওখানে সুন্দর করে লেখা হবে এবং দুটো দিকের যারা মিটিং এ থাকবে সবার সিগনেচার থাকবে। এই জিনিসটা নিয়েই তবে আমরা আজকে ফিরবো। আমরা প্রথম থেকে যে যুদ্ধটা করে আসছি, কোনোভাবে কেউ এটা মনে করবে দেশের যুদ্ধ থেকে আমরা এক পাও পিছিয়ে আছি। আমরা শুধু সেই যুদ্ধে থাকবো, আছি, এবং আমরা ওই অন্যায়ের বিরুদ্ধে প্রতিবাদ করেছি, করব।
ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াই, এবং সেই ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াই থেকে আমরা দেখতে চাই যে ওনারা এই ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াইকে কত দূর নিয়ে যেতে পারেন। সেই ন্যায় বিচারের লড়াইয়ে ডাক দিয়েই আমরা যাচ্ছি। বন্ধুরা, আপনারা সবাই আমাদের সাথে আছেন, এবং আমরা কোন রকম কোন সিদ্ধান্ত ওখানে নেব না। এখানে এসে সবার সাথে কথা বলে আমরা সমস্ত সিদ্ধান্ত নেব। তাতে যদি আন্দোলন আরো তীব্র থেকে তীব্রতর হয়,
So this is what the protesting junior doctors said before they came for the meeting with West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on Monday evening. It is important to remember that a lot of events have happened before this Monday evening meeting took place, and it has been ongoing since Thursday. On Saturday, when the doctors had come down for a meeting, they had almost reached Mamata Banerjee's residence. They were at her gate when they asked her, when they wanted to hold a meeting with her. But then talks did not work out because, again, the point of contention was either live streaming or video recording. So it failed to take place, and because the state said that this is Mamata Banerjee's personal residence and it is citing security concerns, they said that we cannot have any sort of video recording happening over here. So at this, the doctors had said, okay, fine, then we want the minutes of the meeting, and the state had said. So the doctors had agreed to it, but they had agreed to it after 9 o'clock. Just to give a breather, refresher, which is the doctors had come in for the meeting at around 6:30 in the evening. They had been waiting outside Mamata Banerjee's residence till after 9 p.m. at night. So when the doctors finally agreed to, holding the meeting, with just the minutes being exchanged between both the parties, it was already way over 3 hours. So we saw the Chief Secretary Manoj Pant and Chandrika Bhattacharya, while they were leaving Mamata Banerjee's house, they told the doctors that, it's been over 3 hours. Mamata Banerjee has been waiting for you all this time. And mind you, while the doctors were waiting, Mamata Banerjee had come out and she personally tried to address the doctors. And she personally tried to tell them that, it's raining outside, please come in. It's okay if you don't want to hold a discussion, have a cup of tea, and then we can see where it goes from. So that was a video clip that was circulated on social media far and wide, which showed Mamata Banerjee had herself come down to her doorstep, trying to engage with the protesters. So this is essentially what Mamata Banerjee had told the protesting doctors who were at her doorstep on Saturday night.
প্লিজ তোমাদের ছাতা দেওয়া হয়েছে, তোমরা ভিড়তে যাবো, তোমাদের বসতেও জায়গা দেওয়া হচ্ছে। দেখো, আমি তোমাদের এখনো হাত জোর করে হয়েছি, আমি তোমাদের বলছি যে তোমরা একটা কাজ করো। আমিও কিন্তু 2 ঘন্টা তোমাদের জন্য অপেক্ষা করছি। তোমাদের প্রত্যেকে ছাতা দেওয়া হয়েছে, সামনে বসার ব্যবস্থা করা হয়েছে। তোমরা ভিজবে না, আমার এটা অনুরোধ থাকলো। কেন ভিজছো? তোমাদের জন্য আমি তো জায়গা করে রেখেছি। আর আমি আবার বলি, তোমাদের চিঠিতেও কোথাও লাইভ স্ট্রিমিংয়ের কথা লেখা নেই, আমাদের চিঠিতেও লেখা নেই। আমরা টোটালটাই রেকর্ড করে রাখছি এবং তোমাদের শেয়ার করবো আমরা মিনিটস, এবং এটা আমরা কেউই রিলিজ এখন করবো না, যেহেতু কোর্টে কেস চলছে। আমরা এটা সময় মতো কোর্টের কেসটা একটু শেষ হয়ে গেলে তোমাদের দিয়ে দেবো। তোমাদের কেউ একদিন ওয়াচ করতে পারো যে আমরা টোটালটাই রেকর্ড করবো, নিশ্চিন্তে থাকো। এইটুকু আমার প্রতি ভরসা রাখতে পারো। তোমাদের মিসলিড করবো না, তোমাদের কোনোই করবো না। তোমরা কেন ভিড়বে? আমি 2 ঘন্টা তোমাদের জন্য দাঁড়িয়ে আমিও ভিড়ছি। আমার চিফ সেক্রেটারি, আমার ডিজি পুলিশ, আমার আইবি হেড, আমার হোম সেক্রেটারি নন্দিনী, আমরা সবাই ওয়েট করছি। তোমাদের সকলকে ছাতা দিয়েছে এই কারণে যে তোমরা যাতে না ভেজো, এবং তোমাদের বসবার জন্য পাশে অ্যারেঞ্জমেন্ট করা আছে। তোমরা অন্তত মিটিং না করে এক কাপ চা খেয়ে যাও। এসো না, আসছো না কেন? ভেতরে ঢুকছো না কেন?
আমাদের আমাদের ওই ভিডিও আমরা যদি নিয়ে না যেতে পারি, যারা আমাদের এই যে আমরা জিজ্ঞেস করলাম ম্যাডাম আমরা কেন দিচ্ছি, কারণ ম্যাডাম আমাদের যারা এখন ওখানে আমাদের ব্যাটসম্যানরা বন্ধুরা।
শোনো, আমি একটু কথা বলি। তারা তো তোমাদের ট্রাস্ট করে পাঠিয়েছে, তোমাদের আসার কথা ছিল 15 জন, তোমরা এসছো 40 জন। একটা লোকের বাড়িতে তুমি বলো 40 জনের কি বসার জায়গা থাকতে পারে? তা সত্ত্বেও তোমরা ছোটরা এসছো, আমি তোমাদের জন্য সব অ্যারেঞ্জমেন্ট করে রেখেছি। প্লিজ এসো তোমরা, আমি তোমাদের অনুরোধ করবো তোমরা এসো। যদি মিটিং করতে ইচ্ছে না করে তোমরা একটু চা খেয়ে যাও, এবং দরকারে তোমরা যারা ভিজেছো আমার কাছে কাপড় জামা আছে, আমি তোমাদের দিয়ে দিচ্ছি। জামা কাপড় প্রচুর, তোমরা ভিজো না, এটা তোমাদের কাছে আমার রিকোয়েস্ট থাকবে। তোমরা আমার সাথে কথা বলবে বলেছিলে বলেই কিন্তু আমার ডাকা। দেখো তোমার আজকে কিন্তু অনুরোধ তোমাদের কাছ থেকে এসেছিল, কারণ আমি ওখানে যাওয়ার পর সেখানে কোথাও লাইভ স্ট্রিমিং এর কথা লেখা ছিল না, এবং আমরাও লিখিনি, তোমরাও লেখনি। সেদিনকে তোমরা লিখেছিলে, তা সত্ত্বেও তোমরা তো বুঝবে এখানে একটা সিকিউরিটির ব্যাপারও আছে। লক্ষ্মী ভাই বোনের আমার, তোমরা মানুষের স্বার্থে এসো, এবং তোমরা আমার সাথে কথা না বলতে পারো, তোমরা একটা চা খেয়ে যাও। আমি তো তোমাদের বলেছি, যেহেতু কোর্টে ব্যাপারটা বিচারাধীন আছে, তোমাদের মিনিটস আমি করে দেবো, মিটিং এর মিনিটস করে দেবো। পুরো ভিডিও আমি আজকে দিতে পারবো না, আমি মিনিটস করে দেবো। ভাই তোমরা ঠিক করো, তোমরা যদি কেউ আসতে চাও আমি সবাইকে বলবো, যারা যারা আসতে চান তারা দয়া করে আসুন। তাহলে আপনারা যদি নাই এসে বাড়িতে মিটিং করেন, তাহলে আপনারা আমাকে চিঠি দিলেন কেন? এত অসম্মান কেন করছেন? অনেক অসম্মান করছেন আপনারা। আগেও 3 দিন আমি 2 ঘন্টা করে অপেক্ষা করেছি, আমি যার জন্য আপনাদের কাছে নিজে ছুটে গিয়েছিলাম। প্লিজ এইটুকু রেসপেক্ট তো দেবেন। আমি তো আমারও দৌড়াত আছে তোমাদের জন্য। আমি তোমাদের বলছি, শোনো, তোমরা ছোট, আমি বড়, কিন্তু মনে রেখো আমি আন্দোলন করার লোক, আমি আন্দোলনকে মর্যাদা দিতে জানি। তাই তোমাদের কাছে তোমরা আসার আগে আমি ছুটে গিয়েছিলাম। তোমাদের আমি বলছি, কেউ কেউ আমি জানি না কারা এর মধ্যে আছো কারা নেই, কিন্তু আমি তোমাদের সবাইকেই বলবো, ফরগেট পলিটিক্স, মানুষের স্বার্থে এসো, কথা বলো। আমি তোমাদের দেখো, যদি তোমরা কথা বলতে না চাও তাহলে তোমাদের বলবো তোমরা ভিজো না। তা আসছো না কেন? আমরা আসছো না কেন? তোমরা ভিডিও কথা দেখোনি। ট্রান্সপারেন্স থাকবে, নোট মিনিটস করে দেবো, মিনিটস করে মিনিট সই করে দেবো। আমাদের গভর্নমেন্টের পক্ষ থেকেও সই করবে, তোমাদের পক্ষ থেকেও একজন সই করবে। ভাই তোমাদের সব ডিমান্ড তো আমি মানতে পারি না। আমি তোমাদের আগেও বলেছি কেন আমি ভিডিও তোমাদের কাছে আজকেই দিতে পারছি না, বাট টোটালটাই রেকর্ড করে আমি ভিডিও তোমাদের তখনই দেবো, আমি সুপ্রিম কোর্ট থেকে পারমিশন নিয়ে দেবো। আমি কথা দিচ্ছি, আমি ভিডিও আমরাও কেউ ইউজ করবো না, আমরাও ইউজ করবো না, আমরা ট্রান্সপারেন্সি মেইনটেইন করবো। দেখো আমি তোমাদের বলি, আমি হাত জোর করে বলছি, যদি আসতে প্লিজ এসো, কিন্তু তোমরা ভিজো না, তোমাদের অসুখ করলে আমার খারাপ লাগবে, প্লিজ এসো। অন্তত মিটিং না
This is
করো।
what Mamata Banerjee had told the protesting junior doctors who had come to her residence on Saturday. Since Saturday, a lot has happened, and a lot of emails have gone to and fro, and that has boiled down to this meeting, which is happening currently underway. What has happened, what has transpired out of the meeting is yet unknown. The doctors are inside, and Mamata Banerjee is also inside, And what is essentially the conclusion that has been reached is something that everyone here is waiting with bated breath and with much anticipation. Everyone is, almost glued to their screens, trying to find out what exactly has happened, because this meeting, the ongoing impasse between the state and the protesting doctors has been continuing for 39 days now. It started on August 9th and it has been continuing ever since. And the people who are essentially at the receiving end of this particular siege work are the patients who were coming to these government-run medical colleges and hospitals for treatment.
I am just being told that some assurances have been given by the Chief Minister, and there can be some announcement done tomorrow. So I don't think there would be any major announcement today. Again, not really sure if the announcement will happen today, but some major announcement can happen tomorrow. Well, I'm given a sense as what possibly has been discussed and what possibly has been communicated. Yet I will not be confirming that. I do have a confirmation over here, but I will not inform it as yet because it's very sensitive, and it's best coming in from the right source. So I'm been told that some communication has been given to the confirmation and assurance had been given by the Chief Minister to the junior doctors. The junior doctors have accepted the assurance uh, that I am being told. Well, again, I will not be confirming what kind of announcement it will be. Well, it has to be pertaining to the five demands which have been made by the junior doctors, and the five demands essentially comprised of removal of certain officers and some government officials who are holding position. For example, the police commissioner, for example, DME, for example, principal secretary health. All these positions are what they have been wanting a change in, and it is. It is anyone's guess that if any assurance has been given by the Chief Minister to the protesting doctors, to the junior doctors who have attended the meeting, it has to be in the peripheral lines of these principal demands, five demands. So, if you want to guess, you can, but I will still not be spelling out as what kind of an assurance being given unless it is being officially communicated by either side who have been part of the meeting. But we can confirm that some confirmation has been given by the Chief Minister, assurance has been given by the Chief Minister. And if that is true, in that case, there can be some major announcements coming in, maybe latest by tomorrow. We have to understand tomorrow is equally important a day because the Supreme Court hearing would be resuming once again, and the Supreme Court hearing could be very, very significant. All eyes would be on that very Supreme Court hearing, but nonetheless, the junior doctors who have been pressing forth their demand, keeping aside the Supreme Court observations and, of course, Supreme Court hearing, they are steadfast on their own demands, and the demands are pretty much clear, which have already been highlighted multiple times, and the demands have also been discussed today inside the meeting room. Again, I would say that there is a confirmation. All right, one second. So once again, so the confirmation has been given, assurance has been given that uh, some major announcement can happen. It could very well be changes in the positions held up by someone. Some government position could be the CP, could be the health secretary, could be DME, uh, could be other government officials whose names have been mentioned in the demand list by the junior doctors. So obviously that kind of an assurance has been given to the junior doctors. I more or less have spelled it out, but then again we would wait for an official confirmation. What we can confirm that Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, in the course of the deliberation, in the course of the meeting, has officially confirmed that they would be they would be making some announcement, and some assurance has also been given to the junior doctors. So obviously, I can confirm one thing, that the meeting has ended. Somebody who was there inside the meeting, I won't really specify whether junior doctors or from the government side, have just checked the message which I have sent, which is itself an indication that person has found access to the phone once again. So it is absolutely confirmed an aspect that the meeting is over. Maybe minutes of the meeting is still being checked, cross-checked, and it's something that's still being scanned, and that's why it's taking so long. But the meeting is definitely over, and the meeting has lasted for over 2 hours. So obviously, you're waiting for an official confirmation. I don't really think that 11:30 at night. I would be very surprised if at 11:30 at night there comes a call for a press conference, because, as I said, in my 15 years of career, I have not really reported on a situation of this kind where a meeting is happening so late inside the residence of a chief minister. Uh, During Nirbhaya case, we had seen middle of the night judges in Supreme Court coming up and taking stock of matter and hearing the matter. We have seen at times in Supreme Court very late night hearing has happened. Also, in perspective of Bengal, I remember when Trinamool Congress ministers were arrested in the month of May in 2021, including Firhad Hakim and uh, late Subroto Mukherjee, former Mayor Shobhan Chatterjee, and of course Madan Mitro, when they were arrested in connection with the Narda scam by CBI in the month of May 2021. We had seen late night developments happen. Again, those late night developments had reached the corridors of the court when their bail application was heard and the bail was not given. In fact, the arrest was challenged, but all of that happened in Calcutta High Court, in the corridors of the court. But as far as Chief Minister's residence is concerned, we haven't really come across a meeting happening for this long and this late in the evening. Meetings have happened this long. Political meetings have happened in the evening, in the afternoon, during the official hours. But a meeting that started only after 6:30 in the evening has only spilled over till this late, which is 11:30. It's what? It's 11:23. It's almost 11:30. So we haven't really seen a situation of this kind in many, many, many years. And probably for the first time, I'm like here outside the residence of the chief minister this late in the evening and waiting for a meeting to get over and the minutes of the meeting or the discussion as it transpired, details of that to come out. So just to do a quick recap, it all started after 6:30, because 6:17 was the time when all the junior doctors had come down, and they had 6:17 is the time when the bus carrying the junior doctors had gone inside this very late, where the house of the chief minister is. And thereafter, I'm expecting by 6:30 they were all inside. So probably by 6:40 or by 6:45 the meeting had started. At around 8:30, if I'm not mistaken, I was told that the meeting is over. 8:30, 8:40, the meeting is over. So the meeting has lasted for over 2 hours. But thereafter, we had seen at around 8:45, the bus which brought the junior doctors, which was parked here for some time, had gone inside again, which was also a confirmation to the information that I learned from inside that the meeting is over. And now it seems like that both sides are going through the minutes of the meeting, trying to scan each and every word. It is more of literature at this point in time. Every is, are, every article would make a lot of difference. Every article would either amplify the emotion, the expression. Every adjective would be amplifying the emotion or expression. So every word would be scanned in the minutes of the meeting. Both sides have made it very, very clear that the minutes of the meeting would be the official documentation as far as the meeting is concerned, and every word that both sides document would be, uh, a confirmation of what has transpired. So either side will not want to have a situation where they leave the meeting room and then they say something on camera which is not contradictory to the other side, and that's the reason both sides would be going through the minutes of the meeting very minutely, and that's the word. And they must be going through all those minutes of the meeting now, and I'm presuming that is the reason why it is taking this long, and I'm also presuming that is the reason why it has taken this long. I would say it's almost 11:30 and they have not come out. Just to give you a sense of the place, also to add some variety to the live reporting we have been doing for the past several hours now. This live itself is close to 2 hours and 40 minutes, and over here, as you see, The people who have assembled in the evening, they are still staying put. They haven't really left this spot and they have not really gone back. So obviously the anxiety is there, the curiosity is there. People are waiting for a clarity as what has happened inside the meeting room, whether this would be an end of the deadlock and whether this would also bring in some kind of a clarity as how how uh, Tuesday would look like, because this Tuesday, 17th of September, would be very, very crucial for multiple reasons. The Supreme Court hearing is there, and if the deadlock doesn't end, it would only mean another additional day to the continuing deadlock, which would only mean that cease work would continue. So obviously, there are doctors who are still protesting outside Shastro Bhavan, who are still camping outside there, and obviously they are also waiting for uh, uh, you know, uh, a roadmap that would take this protest in a direction where they can go back to their work probably, and this demand for justice or protest for justice also continues. We have to understand, as far as demand for justice is concerned, A, the matter is with the CBI. B, Supreme Court has intervened into the matter. C, the trial procedure is a time consuming affair. D, the trial will not happen in Supreme Court. As and when CBI is in a position to close the case and file a charge sheet only after they close the case, their investigation, or even for that matter, if they file their first charge sheet and then continue with the investigation, whatever it is, that would only mean that charge sheet would go before the lower court, and charge sheet is basically documentation of allegations and charges that they would level, the investigating agency would level after they have investigated the matter, and prima facie, having gone through all their evidences, they have come to the conclusion that probably this person is accused or that person is accused, and their names would also be reflecting in that charge sheet. So when that charge sheet is being finalized and confirmed, it would then be sent to the lower court, and the lower court would then be bringing upon the trial session where the charge sheet would also be argued upon. Mind it, if there are if there are lawyers who would be representing the CBI in this case, the government position, there would also be lawyers representing the accused. So then the argument, counter argument would happen, hearing would happen on the trial, and on the basis of the trial, will the court finally decide as what would be the punishment, who is accused, who has to be convicted. At this juncture, everyone is accused, and the court can only pronounce who is a convict, and only when the conviction happens can the trial for the duration of punishment, or the trial for punishment and the nature of punishment would also be deliberated upon. So it's a long drawn process. While people are demanding justice, we are all wanting justice, we all want an early closure to the case, because I keep repeating this, at this juncture, the justice as a word is very relative. While for us it could be punishment for the accused, one, two, many, but for family, justice is what? Who has lost its loved one. What is justice? For them, this justice is nothing but a small satisfaction that those who have snatched away, or whoever has snatched away their daughter from their life, is being punished. That is the only satisfaction they can have.
It's like a little band-aid on a gaping wound.
Absolutely, it's a small band-aid on a gaping wound. It only can help you live your broken life a little better. Otherwise, definition of justice would keep changing from person to person, from the people who are protesting on the streets, while they empathize with the bereaved family, sympathize with the bereaved family, while they want stringent punishment. For them, the objective could be, yes, we are with the family. At the same time, when you give stringent punishment to someone who has committed such a heinous crime, someone or many have committed this heinous crime, you essentially set the right precedent, and it can also act as a deterrent for future, where people would think 1,000 times before they commit such a heinous crime. And let's not make any kind of a mistake. We have been relentlessly reporting on this brutal rape and murder from 9th of August, one incident which has united the entire country after Nirbhaya incident, in demand for stringent punishment, in demand for justice. Yet, after 9th of August, there had been multiple incidents of rape, gang rape. Now think about it. It's not competitive politics on rape. Those who do it, they are absolutely, they are politician. But for human beings, for common people like you and me, It is not competitive politics on rape. It's a sad reality that while the entire country is up in arms fighting against such a social malice, the social malice has so much of audacity that it has raised its ugly head in different form and at different places at different times since 9th of August. In fact, there is a data which shows that since 9th of August, there had been no less than 18 to 20 cases of rapes and gang rapes.
And that was just 1 week since 9th of
Absolutely. And in fact, just 2 days back, imagine I was going through the story and it's equally horrifying. Somebody who is, who works at the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, the newly inaugurated Ram Temple, one which was inaugurated on 22nd of January in 2024. A lady has complained that in that temple town, and that too at highly secured areas, she was inappropriately touched, she was gang raped, and then when she had gone to police, it's her allegation, it's part of the complaint. She has alleged that police initially had not registered a complaint. Days later, police had registered a complaint, and police had also issued a statement that on the basis of what the complainant had said verbally, after verifying those verbal factors, they decided to lodge a complaint. Imagine. Whether that approach is right or wrong is a matter of argument, and we can do it. And if I do it, you would say that you are trying to harp on a case which has happened in Uttar Pradesh. Well, if something is happening in Uttar Pradesh, it's equally a matter of shame for India. If something happens in Bengal, it's equally a matter of shame for India. When two women were paraded naked in Manipur, it was equally a matter of shame for India. When a woman was raped in Madhya Pradesh, it was equally a matter of shame for India. So please make no mistake that this is like passing the buck from one place to another place to bring in the government into the picture as who is there in power, whether this party or that party. I don't care. I really don't care whether A party is there or B party is there. An incident happening on the heart of India is a shame for India. Whether it happens in Bengal, whether it happens in Madhya Pradesh, whether it happens in Uttar Pradesh, whether it happens in Manipur, whether it happens in any part of the country, it's a matter of concern for humanity, and it is basically an assertion that we are coexisting with rapists in the same world that we are living in. So please don't get into that competitive rape politics. It's very, very unfortunate when one indulges in that.
What is disheartening is every single day you wake up in the morning and as a routine practice you all go through news once you wake up, right? So every single day once you're waking up in the morning, it is disheartening to see no matter which newspaper you open, no matter which website portal you visit, there is at least one case of rape which is there. At least one. There are many to say, but there's at least one. And you know what is disheartening and what is absolutely disgusting and distasteful is, people, once a woman gets raped, there's a wave of victim shaming the woman, and there's a lot of things. Why was she there at night? Why was she wearing a kind of clothes? Why was she there alone? That apart, kids as old as nursery children were raped by the van driver. Kids, class 5 child, girl child was gang raped
In
by
Maharashtra
people.
it happened. In Maharashtra,
Exactly.
Badlapur.
So
In
it is.
Maharashtra, it happened in Badlapur. In Uttar Pradesh, Ayodhya. In Madhya Pradesh, in Indore, it has happened.
So it
in
is
Kolkata, it has happened.
Exactly. So it is not just about one state or one particular place. I think it has opened, a very dark underbelly of what should be in public discourse. This is something which needs to be discussed. There is a lot of education that needs to, go into it. What happens is, something becomes a malice when there's a lot of curiosity surrounding it. And once you quell that curiosity with accurate knowledge is when you will actively be able to
And
work towards mitigating the problem from its root.
absolutely, and there are also psychologically perverts who are also there. Now, and that is the reason, going back to the very point, when people are saying that we want justice, the demand for justice is so relative at this point, because for the larger society, when they are asking for justice, for all of us, when we are asking for justice, it's just not for the bereaved family, but also in the quest for a better world for you, me, and for our loved ones that we leave behind, for generations that we leave behind. We are not permanent fixtures in this world, but our next generations will be living here. There are families who have come down in protest rallies where young children with little daughters, and the mothers have told us that we are here at this protest site with our daughter because we want our daughter to know what kind of a world we are living in and what kind of a fight she would also be gearing up for in her own life. We are not there all throughout to protect our daughters and our sons and our children. And they have to wage their own war and fight their own battle. And that's why it's very important to understand what is this battle all about. It is not about one individual. It is not about one Arjikot doctor. Yes, it is for her. Yes, it is for her, for sure. Our heart goes out to that doctor who is no more with us. How brutally she was killed, and that too when she was sleeping. She was absolutely defenseless. She was literally
and
defenseless.
It was after 36 hours of serving people.
And it is like nauseating that she had to go through so much of pain in that moment. In that moment when she was absolutely numb, her body was numb. When she was sleeping, she had to go through all of that. She had to endure so much of pain. So obviously it is for her. But the demand for justice changes from people to people. And for larger society, it is a quest for a better world for all of us, where you possibly don't have to coexist with rapists. And only when we have, strong action taken against the rapist, that the right example can be set. And please understand, for that to happen, you have to have an investigation without being shrouded under any political blame game, under any kind of oppression, under any matter of obfuscation. That the investigation happens so truthfully that the truth comes out. Doesn't really matter who likes it, who doesn't like it. And sooner the truth comes out, better it is for the truth, because that truth will then quell all the other lies. Maybe those lies have been amplified for way too long and they have been existing for way too long. But having said that, when the truth comes out, whether it's pleasing or not, that truth can only set the path ahead. And that's why early investigation, fast track investigation, fast track closure of the case, of cases of this kind, can only and only act as deterrent. Well, we had seen similar kind of a fight during Nirbhaya case, and it's very, very unfortunate. Thereafter, we have a situation where somebody had to name a woman Nirbhaya too.
When you rake up this Nirbhaya case, what is important I want to mention is when the president issued a statement on this matter, she said enough is enough, and she said that why does the society need to wait for Nirbhaya 1, Abhaya, Tilottama to actually rage and kind of get to the streets and question the root cause of this problem. It is really not big a demand, and it is really not an unattainable demand to ask for a place or ask for a society where both genders can coexist in peace and coexist in an environment which is conducive to both. Me being a working woman professional myself, I am also subjected to a lot of prejudices when it comes to working late, when it comes to returning home late at night. I know for a fact that my parents are probably on their toes thinking about where I am, if I am in a bad network zone and they cannot get through to me. They frantically call me, they frantically send messages. And that itself is almost commentary on the larger discourse that what sort of a society are we living in where we cannot let a person, go and pursue their dreams, go and pursue their careers. And it is absolutely shameful and absolutely disheartening and heartbreaking.
And it is also same in Mumbai, where my family is there. In Mumbai, where my cousin sister goes out to work, it's the same with my own Masi. It's the same everywhere. So this concern that many a times families show for children, just not women, also men at times. Uh, it is just not mere concern. It is also reflection of certain insecurities.
It stems out of fear.
Absolutely, it stems out of fear, and that's the reason when people demand justice, they only want a better world where they don't have to coexist, we don't have to coexist with perverts. And mind it, Sanjay Roy, with the details that we have also done a report on what kind of a person Sanjay Roy is. We would possibly also be filing a report on Sanjay. We have learned a lot of details about him. Disgusting, and it calls for a separate report, would be coming out very soon. But then, yes, all forms of perversion requires a cure, and perversion comes from here. So again, it's correlated with the very fact mental health. Now we all understand that we are possibly giving you a lot of gyan, a lot of side talks, but then yes, at this point in time, while we wait for the doctors to come out, we are only hoping and praying that what comes out of the meeting is at least told to us. We could be sure, as having waited here for over 5 hours now, we know as what has happened inside the meeting, and it's just not ours, our wait as well. Alone, there are people who have come from outside, and they are waiting. So we would just wait for the doctors to come out, unsure as what time it would be. Maybe we can just take a quick break and break apart from this live and come back again, if that's possible. In fact, it's 11:40, so. um so obviously, I think we should. What we should do is we have stretched this live. Yeah. So I'll just come back for Titash. I'll wait for Titash to come back and wait for a confirmation. So at this juncture, yes, there is no clarity as what's going on. Uh, the bus is not even ready. The engine is not on, so not really expecting the bus to come out. So what I'll do is my producers Shumon and Orko kindly wind up this live and request my viewers, our viewers, please come back when we come back to live. And of course, we would be coming up with the latest update once again, as and when the bus rolls out and we get to know as whether they're coming out. If there is a position for them to issue a statement, what it is, at least you will have a clarity that they are leaving. As and when that happens, we would definitely come back live once again. So yeah. So let's see when it happens. At this juncture, I do not really see that is happening. I do not really see that is happening because there is no such movement. Okay, there is no such movement as such. I just saw some officers come out, so I was like curious if they would come and address us and let us know. Uh, um, I don't think any preparations are on. I don't think so. So maybe what he would do is we'll take one last chance. Okay, we'll just do one last chance. Uh, we will just do one last chance because ending this live broadcast would also mean the viewers who are there who would be they would also be leaving. So I just okay. I do see some movement happening. Wait, I do see some movement happening. I do see some movement happening. Let me just see. Okay, so we'll stay on with the live. We'll stay on with the live. We'll stay on with the live. Okay, well, we will stay on with the live and let's see if we can get some visual. Let's stay with the visual and viewers. I think there is some movement happening. I think the bus would be leaving now. So we are trying to show the visuals. Let's see if the bus now comes out and. And okay, so yes, there is a little cordon space now for media people, and obviously there is a possibility of the bus coming out, and obviously it seems like the bus would be coming out. I am not really sure about the bandwidth. If it gets fractured, please do apologize. We are not in a position to control the bandwidth now. It is very chaotic a situation out here, as you see. The bus has. The bus has started rolling. Well, I don't think so, but I see some movement over there. I do see some movement over there, and obviously the bus would be coming out. Whether you can see in naked eyes or not, I don't know. But then the bus would be coming out. The bus would be coming out. It seems like, which means the doctors are stepping out. The doctors are stepping out, and obviously the doctors are stepping out, and obviously, let me see if I can see something. All right. The doctors are now stepping out. I do see a lot of people are walking down. All right. I do see a lot of people are walking towards this side. Maybe they would be trying to make the way. Uh, all right. You see those doctors are now coming towards this side. The doctors are now moving this side. So obviously, well, I do see people walking towards this side. Yeah, so maybe the security people are coming. The security people are coming here, and they will be either making way for a press conference or okay. All the doctors are now coming. All the doctors are coming out. All the doctors are coming out, and I do see the doctors are coming out. the doctors are coming out. So obviously the doctors are coming out, and obviously media people is allowed to go inside. Let me see the doctors. Yeah. So the doctors are now out, and obviously media people are allowed to go up till a point. Those who are joining the live broadcast, those who have joined the live broadcast, see, this is the very road which takes you inside the residence of the Chief Minister. And obviously the doctors have now come out, and the doctors would be holding a press conference. They would be issuing a statement. It is clear. It is very, very chaotic out here, as you see. It is very, very chaotic. And all right, lot of pushing and shoving. I have to come to one side. I do see lot of. All right. Ma'am, what happened in the meeting? What happened? What happened in the meeting? Kindly say one word, please.
We had a discussion.
Yeah, okay.
We had a discussion.
Individual. So one second. It's very chaotic. One second. Somebody
We had a discussion, and whatever
One
the
second.
decisions we'll take, we'll have a discussion with the fellow doctors who are protesting with us, and then we'll inform.
Did the Chief Minister propose that some officers would be removed?
We'll have a
official press
discussion.
meet will be released by them.
We'll give it officially.
Just say one thing. Was the meeting positive or not?
It's very
Was
chaotic.
the meeting positive or not?
It's not possible to answer any question like this.
All right. I believe the. All right. We have been called inside. Press people are now being asked to go inside. So obviously, you're walking inside towards the Chief Minister's residence. The doctors are coming. Kinjal, what happened? Kinjal, was it positive? Say this much. Was it positive or not so positive? What happened? Okay, the doctors are now leaving. Very important to see. The doctors are now leaving. The doctors are saying they will not say anything at this juncture, but they are now boarding the bus and they would be leaving. So the doctors would be leaving. So the doctors are leaving. They are saying that the meeting has happened and they will not say something unless they go back to the spot. One doctor that I've spoken with, he said that meeting has happened and obviously, the meeting has happened and obviously, okay, I believe the Chief Minister is already there. Let's go. Right. Thank you. Okay, so we will not get anything from there. Let's see if I can. Well, it's very, very chaotic as you see it, but the Chief Minister would be holding a press conference. The Chief Minister is coming and the Chief Minister would be... Okay, we have been called inside. One second, please. All right. Okay, well, I do see the Chief Minister standing over there, of course, and she would be holding the press conference. Oh. Oh.
ম্যাডাম অডিও ममता दी बोल रही है फ्रेम दे दिया साइलेंस साइलेंस দাদা পড়ে যাবে
ওরা কেন শুনে যাবে না কেন শুনে যাবে না কেন যথেষ্ট শুনে যাচ্ছে এর আগে গেলে তোমরা আমাকে কভার করতে পারবে না তোমরা যে পারপাস চাইছো আমি আপনাদের যেটা বলছি আমি আশা করি আমরা মাইকে বলছি শুনতে পাচ্ছেন আচ্ছা বুকগুলো নিয়ে একটু সাইডে রাখো হাতে রাখো প্লিজ তোমরা আর লেট করো না একটা টুল দিয়ে রাখো
আমি কাজ করছি
একটা টেবিলের উপরে বুকগুলো রাখো বুকটা টেবিলের উপরে রাখো হ্যাঁ মধ্যখানে
ছাড়ুন ছাড়ুন তিন আমি রেখে দিচ্ছি
তোমাদের মাইক্রোফোনটা ওই বক্স সেট করেছে না তোমরা নিজেরা বসো আরে বটা দিয়ে দাও না তার ছাড়ো তার না থাকলে আরেকটু এগিয়ে দাও এটা টেবিলটাকে আরেকটু এগিয়ে দাও বুদ্ধি খরচ করো কেন টাইম নষ্ট করছো ডান দিকে দাও পেয়ে যাবে ডান দিকে যাও হ্যাঁ ব্যাস বসে যাও হ্যাঁ আমি এই তোমরা মাথা নিচু করো হ্যাঁ আমি আপনাদের সকলকে দীর্ঘক্ষণ অপেক্ষা করার জন্য আমি নিজে ক্ষমা চেয়ে নিচ্ছি কিন্তু আমাদের মিটিং চলেছে প্রায় 6টা থেকে 12:15 মানে 6টা থেকে প্রসেস শেষ হতে এখন ঘড়িতে কটা বাজে 12টা বাজে 10 মিনিট বাকি জাস্ট 5 মিনিট আগে আমাদের জুনিয়র ডাক্তারদের টিমটা বেরিয়ে গেল ওনাদের পক্ষ থেকে 42 জন সাইন করেছেন এখানে আপনারা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন মনোজ পন্ত আমাদের পক্ষ থেকে চিফ সেক্রেটারি গভর্নমেন্ট অফ ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের পক্ষ থেকে মিনিটসে সই করেছেন এবং ডাক্তারদের পক্ষ থেকে জুনিয়র ডাক্তারদের পক্ষ থেকে 42 জনের প্রত্যেকেই তারা তাদের সিগনেচার করেছেন আমি আমাদের যে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ গ্রুপ আছে নবান্নের আমার সাথে আমার চিফ সেক্রেটারি মনোজ পন্ত আমার সাথে আমার হোম সেক্রেটারি নন্দিনী আমার সাথে ডিজি পুলিশ বেঙ্গল রাজীব কুমার আমার সাথে চন্দ্রিমা আমার এমওএস হেলথ এবং অবনীশ যে আমাদের আন্ডার সেক্রেটারি সে ছিল তাছাড়াও অনেক অফিসাররা এবং অনেক বন্ধু বান্ধবরা মানে যারা কাজ করেন সারাক্ষণ প্রশাসনের ওদের দেখভাল করার জন্য ছিলেন যা সিদ্ধান্ত হয়েছে তা পুরো নবান্ন থেকে পাঠিয়ে দিতে ডিটেলস তুমি অভিনন্দন জানিয়েছি যে তারা আজকে এসছেন এবং বসেছেন বলে এবং আমরা উভয় পক্ষই খুশি যে আমরা এতক্ষণ ধরে বিস্তারিত আলোচনা করতে পারলাম বলে তারাও অনেক ইস্যু রেজ করেছেন আমরাও আমাদের যা কমেন্টস আমরাও যতটা পেরেছি ওদের বক্তব্যটা ওরা রাখতে চেয়েছিল আমরা সেটা রাখতে দিয়েছি এবং আমরা আমাদের বক্তব্য যেটা বড়দের সবসময় সৌজন্যটা একটু বেশি করতে হয় তাই আমাদের বক্তব্য আমরা চেষ্টা করেছি ওদের গুরুত্ব দিয়েই করবার আপনারা জানেন সিবিআই যে কেসটা তদন্ত করছেন অভয়া পরিবারকে অভয়ার উদ্দেশ্যে শ্রদ্ধা জ্ঞাপন করে মিটিংটা আমি শুরু করেছি পরিবারকে সমবেদনা জানিয়ে এবং ওদের যে 5টা ডিমান্ড ছিল তার মধ্যে ফার্স্ট ডিমান্ড তো ইনভেস্টিগেশন সিবিআই ওটা তো অলরেডি সিবিআই করছে এবং সুপ্রিম কোর্ট মনিটরিং করছে, ওটা নিয়ে তো আমাদের হাতে নেই। প্লাস ওদের 4টে ডিমান্ড ছিল। 4টে ডিমান্ডের মধ্যে যেটা ছিল যে মেল ওরা আমাদের করেছে, একটা হচ্ছে 3টে নাম দিয়েছিল ফ্রম হেলথ ডিপার্টমেন্ট, একটা ডিএমই, একটা ডিএইচএস, আর একটা হেলথের প্রিন্সিপাল সেক্রেটারি। আমরা ওদের বোঝালাম যে একসাথে যদি পুরো ঘরটা খালি করে দেওয়া যায় তাহলে অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশনটা চলবে কি করে। সুতরাং আমরা ওদের কথা মতো ডিএমএ এবং ডিএইচএস কে সরাবার সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছি এবং তাদের সম্মানজনক ভাবে, এর থেকে উঁচু পোস্ট ওদের আর কিছু হয় না। তো যাই হোক, যে একজন ডিএমই হতে পেরেছে বা ডিএইচএস হতে পেরেছে, এবং তারা যথেষ্ট জাস্ট হয়েছে, নতুন বেশি দিন হয়ওনি, কিন্তু যেহেতু ছাত্রছাত্রীরা বলছেন ওদের প্রতি আমাদের আস্থা নেই, তাই তাদের ব্যাপারটাকে গুরুত্ব দিয়েছি। বাট এটাও ঠিক, আমি কিন্তু ডিএমই কে বা ডিএইচএস কে আমরা কাউকে অসম্মান করিনি, কিন্তু ওদের বিরুদ্ধে যেহেতু চিকিৎসকদের ক্ষোভ আছে এবং তাই ওদের দাবি মেনে নিয়ে আমরা বলেছি এই দুজনকে সরানোর সিদ্ধান্ত আমরা নিয়েছি। 3 নম্বর হচ্ছে ওদের যেটা ডিমান্ড ছিল 4 নম্বর, 3টের মধ্যে 2টো করলাম। আর 4 নম্বর ডিমান্ড যেটা ছিল সিপি বিনীত গোয়ালকে সরিয়ে দেওয়ার জন্য। বিনীত গোয়াল ওদের কাছে নাকি আগেই স্বীকার করেছিল, যেটা ওরা মিটিং এ বললেন, যে আমি পদত্যাগ করতে চাই, কারণ আমার মনে হচ্ছে তোমরা যখন আমার প্রতি আস্থা রাখতে পারছো না, তোমাদেরও যেমন পরিবার পরিজন আছে আমারও আছে, এটা ওরা আমাকে মিটিং এ বলল। এবং বলার পরে আমরা কথা বলি নিজেদের মধ্যে, সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছি আগামীকাল 4টের পর আমরা কলকাতা পুলিশ এ বদল আনবো এবং নতুন সিপিকে দায়িত্বভার বিনীত দেবেন। যতক্ষণ পর্যন্ত কোর্ট কেসটা কাল কমপ্লিট না হচ্ছে, 4টের পর আমরা টাইম দিয়েছি। সেক্ষেত্রে নতুন সিপি এবং আরো কিছু পুলিশের রদবদল হবে, সেটা চিফ সেক্রেটারি কালকে নোটিফাইড করে দেবেন আফটার 4 o'clock। এবং বিনীত যেখানে কাজ করতে চেয়েছে সেখানেই তাকে দেয়া হয়েছে। আমরা এটাও বলেছি, দেখো পুলিশ আমাদের ফোর্স এবং তারা সারাক্ষণ কাজ করেন, তাদের দিকটাও আমাদের দেখা উচিত। থেকেই যেহেতু ওই দিন সিপি পৌঁছাবার আগে নর্থের ডিসি পৌঁছেছিলেন আগে, এবং 14 তারিখে ঘটনাটা ঘটেছিল এবং ওরা অভিযোগ করেছিল, যার জন্য নর্থের ডিসিকেও সরিয়ে দেওয়ার সিদ্ধান্ত হয়েছে। ওখানে কাকে দায়িত্ব দেওয়া হবে সেটা কালকে ডিসাইড হবে। এছাড়াও সেফটি, সিকিউরিটি, হসপিটালের ডেভেলপমেন্ট, ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার গুরুত্ব দিয়ে দেখা হবে এবং এক্ষেত্রে টাইম টু টাইম যদি কোনো প্রবলেম অ্যারাইজ করে চিফ সেক্রেটারির আন্ডারে একটি কমিটি বানিয়ে দেওয়া হয়েছে, যেখানে চিফ সেক্রেটারি নিজে দায়িত্ব নিয়ে ওরা যদি কথা বলতে চায়, চিফ সেক্রেটারি, হোম সেক্রেটারি, ডিজিসিপি থাকবেন, তারা তাদের বক্তব্য জানাতেই পারেন। এইসব নানা রকম কথাবার্তা চলার পর আমরা, যেহেতু ডিটেলসটা আপনারা মেলেই পেয়ে যাবেন, আমি এটা বলি মিটিংটা পজিটিভ হয়েছে বলে আমি মনে করি, ওরাও নিশ্চয়ই মনে করে, তারাই বা সাইন করবে কেন, আর আমাদের চিফ সেক্রেটারি বা সাইন করবে কেন। আমরা বরঞ্চ ওদের দাবি একটু বেশি মেনেছি, তার কারণ ওরা ছোট বলে। এবং আমি লাস্ট যেটা বলেছি, যে তোমাদের কাছে আমার আবেদন থাকবে যে তোমরা, আমি জানি তোমরা বলবে আমরা ফিরে গিয়ে জিবিতে আলোচনা করব, সেটা হতেই পারে। তোমাদের মধ্যে অনেকগুলো গ্রুপ আছে, অনেকগুলো মেডিকেল কলেজ আছে, হসপিটাল আছে, ঠিক আছে, তোমরা ফিরে গিয়ে আলোচনা করো, কিন্তু যেটা এখানে মিনিটসে সাইন করেছি আমরা দুপক্ষ,
এরপর তোমরা কাজে যোগদান করো মানুষের স্বার্থে। চারিদিকে বন্যা হচ্ছে, আমার কাছে খবর আছে হুগলিতে খানাকুলে 35 জন মানুষ ট্র্যাপড হয়ে আছে। তাদের আগে বেরোতে বলা হয়েছিল, তারা বেরোতে পারেনি, কিন্তু জল হঠাৎ করে ছেড়ে দিয়েছে ডিভিসি, পাঞ্চেত এবং তেনুঘাট। মিটিং শেষ হওয়ার পরেও আমি হেমন্ত সোরেনের সাথে 3 বার কথা বলেছি, তাকে আমি বারবার রিকোয়েস্ট করেছি, কিন্তু আমি জানি না তারা কি করবে, কারণ ইতিমধ্যে যে জল ছেড়েছেন তাতে বীরভূম, বর্ধমান, বাঁকুড়া, হাওড়া, হুগলি, নর্থ 24 পরগনা, সাউথ 24 পরগনা অনেকটাই এফেক্টেড হয়েছে। হাওড়া, আমি নিজে যে বাড়ি আদিগঙ্গার সামনে থাকি, আমি দেখতে গিয়েছিলাম কি অবস্থা জলের। আমি এতটা জল আসতে কোনোদিনও দেখিনি, কারণ আমাদের গোলাটা হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে উঁচু, আমাদের এই জায়গাটা। আমরা সিঁড়ি বানিয়ে দিয়েছিলাম, প্রায় 14-15টা সিঁড়ি ছিল, একদম পুরো ভরাট হতে আর 5টা সিঁড়ি মাত্র বাকি আছে। এরপর যদি আবার জল ওরা রাত্রে ছেড়ে দেয় বারণ করা সত্ত্বেও, তাহলে কিন্তু বন্যাকে আটকানো যাবে না। ওরা বলছে তাহলে আমাদের এখানে বন্যা হবে। আমরা তোমাদের এখানে বন্যা হবে বলে তুমি আর একটা রাজ্যকে তো ভাসাতে পারো না। আমাদের না জানিয়েই সকালে প্রায় 80-90 হাজার কিউসেক ওয়াটার ছেড়ে দিয়েছে, ফলে একেতে 3-4 দিন কন্টিনিউয়াস বৃষ্টি। এমনিতেই গঙ্গাগুলো, আমাদের নদীগুলো ওভারফ্লো, ড্যামগুলো ওভারফ্লো ছিল, তার মধ্যে এই জলে আস্তে আস্তে কাল সকালে বিকেলে পৌঁছবে। আমি সবাইকে বলবো সতর্কতা অবলম্বন করে দূরে দূরে রিলিফ সেন্টারে প্লিজ দয়া করে যান, এবং আপনাদের থ্রুতে বিডিও থেকে শুরু করে আইসি থেকে শুরু করে ডিএম, এসপি, অ্যাডিশনাল ডিএম, অ্যাডিশনাল এসপি, এসডিও যারাই আছেন সবাইকে বলবো যে ইমিডিয়েট দেখে নাও, কারণ কালকে কিন্তু অনেক জল ঢুকবে। এই জলের উপর যদি আবার জল আসে, আমার এমনিতেই চিন্তা আছে 35 জনকে কি করে উদ্ধার করব আমরা। আর এখন রাত হয়ে গেছে, জলের কারেন্ট এতটাই, কেউ যে উদ্ধার করতে যাবে তার উপায় নেই, কারণ যে উদ্ধার করতে যাবে সে বোটও তলিয়ে চলে যাবে, এমন অবস্থা। তো ওখানে আমরা এনডিআরএফ টিম পাঠাচ্ছি সকালে, এবং এসডিআরএফ টিমটাও আমরা পাঠাচ্ছি সাউথ 24 পরগনায়। সুতরাং আমরা প্রত্যেকে অ্যালার্ট আছি। বিভিন্ন জেলার নেতৃবৃন্দের সাথেও আমার কথা হয়েছে, সিএস নিজে মনিটরিং করছেন 24x7, এবং তিনি নিজেও ডিএমদের সাথে বারবার করে আজকে 2-3 বার ভার্চুয়াল করেছেন। উনি অলরেডি আমাদের 24x7 মনিটরিং চলছে, টাইম টু টাইম কি অবস্থা। এবং মানুষকে আবার আবেদন করছি, প্লিজ দয়া করে জল আর আগুন এই দুটো জিনিস নিয়ে আমাদের মনে রাখতে হবে, যে কোনো মুহূর্তে জল ঢুকে যেতে পারে। দোতলা বাড়ি হলেও যদি একতলা ভেসে যায়, তাহলে দোতলা ভাসতে কতক্ষণ নেবে? কাজে জীবনের ঝুঁকি দয়া করে কেউ নেবেন না, সতর্ক থাকুন, কিন্তু জীবন বাঁচান। একটা প্রাণের দাম অনেক বেশি, এটা আপনাদের মাধ্যমে অনুরোধ করব। যদিও আপনারা জুনিয়র ডক্টরদের স্ট্রাইক নিয়ে বেশি ব্যস্ত, কিন্তু তার মধ্যে আমার এই আবেদনটুকু যদি গ্রাম বাংলায় মানুষের কাছে পৌঁছে দিতে পারেন, বিশেষ করে জেলার মানুষের কাছে। কারণ কলকাতায় যদি এই অবস্থা হয় গঙ্গার, তাও তো হাই টাইড আজকে ছিল না। আমি দেখছি এখন জোয়ার আছে, জলের স্রোতের টান খুব বেশি আছে, এবং সেই জন্যই বুঝতে পারছি না, ইভেনিং আমরাও হয়তো যে কোনো সময় ডুবে যেতে পারি। জলের যে স্রোত আছে, তারপরে যদি আবার জল ছাড়ে, নিজেদের ঠিক রাখার জন্য অন্য স্টেটের উপরে ছেড়ে দিলাম, এটা কিন্তু ঠিক হচ্ছে না। আমি আমার প্রতিবাদ জানিয়েছি। হ্যাঁ, বলেছি আমি যে আপনারা প্লিজ কর্মবিরতি তুলুন। এত কিছু আলোচনা, আপনাদের 4টের মধ্যে 3টে ডিমান্ডই মেনে নিয়েছি। তাছাড়াও সিসিটিভি, লাইট, রেস্টরুম, ওয়াশরুম এগুলো করে দেওয়ার ব্যাপারেও 100 কোটি টাকা দেওয়া হয়েছে, এবং এছাড়াও সিকিউরিটি অডিটিং এর ব্যাপারেও আমরা দেখছি। সবার যাতে নিরাপত্তা থাকে, আমাদের যতদূর সম্ভব আমরা করব।
আপনাদেরও বলবো লক্ষ্য রাখতে, কারণ দায়বদ্ধতা কিন্তু বোথ সাইডেরই থাকে। আর আমি আপনাদের কাছে অনুরোধ করব, অনেক মানুষ মারা গেছে, অনেক মানুষের কষ্ট হচ্ছে, চিকিৎসা পাচ্ছে না, অনেক পেশেন্ট আটকে আছে। সুতরাং মানুষ মনে করে আপনারাই তাদের ভগবান। সুতরাং আপনাদের আমি কাজে ফিরতে অনুরোধ করব। সমস্যা থাকলে সমাধান করতে হয়, আলোচনার পথ সবসময় খোলা থাকে। আজকে 3 দিন অপেক্ষা করার পর, আজকে 4 দিন 5 দিন, 3 ঘন্টা 2 ঘন্টা 3 ঘন্টা অপেক্ষা করার পর আজকে প্রায় সব প্রসেস শেষ করতে 5.5 ঘন্টা টাইম লেগেছে। আমাদের দিক থেকে যা যা করার ছিল আমরা চেষ্টা করেছি বাংলার মানুষ যাতে ভুল না বোঝেন, বাংলার মানুষের দিকে তাকিয়ে, এবং এটা নিয়ে আবার যেন কেউ অপপ্রচার দয়া করে করবেন না। বাংলায় দুর্গাপুজো আসছে, এটা আমার আবেদন আপনাদের কাছে, এটা আমাদের মিটিং এ আলোচনা হয়নি, আমি করিনি, এটা আমার পক্ষ থেকে বন্যাটা এবং ফ্লাডের ব্যাপারটা আমি বলেছি, এই পরিস্থিতি। সুতরাং ম্যালেরিয়া বাড়বে, ডেঙ্গু বাড়বে, জলজনিত রোগগুলো বাড়বে, আপনাদের খুব প্রয়োজন এখন। আপনারা হাসপাতালে ফিরে যান, আমি এটুকু বলতে পারি, কারো বিরুদ্ধে কোনো শাস্তিমূলক ব্যবস্থা নেওয়া হবে না। लिया तो गया, कोशिश किया है जूनियर डॉक्टर का बात सुनने के लिए, लेकिन हमारा पुलिस भी बहुत सारे काम करते हैं। अगर काम करते करते किसी को 2 मिनट देर हो जाता है, कोई काम पे अगर थोड़ा गलती हो जाता है, तो उसको लेके अगर किसी को गुस्सा है तो गुस्सा निभाने के लिए, गुस्सा निपटाने के लिए हमने कोशिश किया। हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट, पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट में जो जस्टिस उन्होंने मांगा, हमें कोशिश किया। हमारा पुलिस जो सीपी को हम चेंज करने का फैसला किया है, उनको साथ बात करके उनको कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके, उन्होंने भी नहीं चाहते थे जितना उसका खिलाफ में बहुत सारे बात उठाया। उन्होंने भी कहा कि हमारा भी परिवार है, हमारा परिवार को अच्छा नहीं लगता, इसी के लिए हम भी छोड़ने चाहते हैं। उन्होंने खुद, और डॉक्टर लोग जब मिलने गया था तो उन्होंने बताया। और हमारा हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट का 3 की पोस्ट है, जैसे डीएमई डीएचए ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है, इसको पैनल करके प्रोसेस करके तभी कर सकता है। तो अभी हम चीफ सेक्रेटरी को बोला है कि प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी को लेके बात करके इसको अभी आप लोग देखभाल कीजिए, जब प्रोसेस हो जाएगा तब हम देखेंगे। ऐसा बात हुआ है। हेल्थ में भी उसको 3 ऑफिसर को ट्रांसफर का बात हटाने के बात किया, लेकिन हम 2 मांग लिया, इससे ज्यादा हम क्या कर सकते हैं। हम 99% मान लिया। I am not saying anything which is when the matter is sub judice. My humble request to all the junior doctors, whatever they demanded, out of this 4th demand, what is with us, we accepted 3 demands and we requested them to join the work so that commoners should not suffer, there should not be more and more death from the commoners. And nowadays when we are facing dengue, malaria, and also flood-like situation. DBC Panchayat Tenughat, the dam, they have already released too much water. And these 2-3 days we faced acute rainwater also. So both the Ganga river ponds were overflowing, and after releasing the water from Jharkhand, it's an acute problem. Some people are in a trap now. We have got the information. Police is keeping touch with them. We requested them to come early, but they thought that they will be safe. They have seen the earlier things also. Well, earlier also I monitored all this. My chief secretary is also monitoring. But I have not seen so much water is being released together. When there is a torrential rain, it plus the flood spread in throughout West Bengal. Now we have to monitor all the situation. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And I think we trust, we think tomorrow you must know tomorrow 4 o'clock. After 4 o'clock, because the matter is on sub judice, let the court, let the court, let the court, we respect the court, highest judiciary. We have a great respect. So whatever the matter is sub judice, there we cannot interfere. It is the court decision and it is Supreme Court monitoring case. We want justice and we want, of course, the justice from Obhaya to all the girls, all the women who are affected throughout the country. Thank you very much.
The chief minister has just gone inside the house, and obviously, the meeting has ended. And the chief minister made it very clear that there were certain big decisions made and some big decisions announced. All right, I do have the minutes of the meeting. I do have the minutes of the meeting. 1 second. I do have the minutes of the meeting. Producer, I'm sending the PDF. Please make a MOV and put it out ASAP. Also, keep the visuals of the chief minister speaking to media. Keep the visuals of the chief minister speaking to media on. So basically, there are several takeaways in this very press conference. Number one, as far as the police commissioner is concerned, one of the major demands of the protesting doctors one of the major demands of the protesting doctors, that the police commissioner should be changed. That demand has been kept. So the police commissioner would be changed. One of the biggest takeaways from this very meeting as it happened, the chief minister has confirmed that the police commissioner would be changed. She also said that the police commissioner had reached out to the protesters in the meeting that happened at Lal Bazaar, and that he himself had said that he wanted to resign and he had expressed his desire to resign, but thereafter, that resignation never came. And he also had apparently said that because he too, even after belonging to the force, has a family. That's why it is not something he appreciates, the kind of words which have been used about him or about police force, that he has expressed his desire to resign. So yes, it is now confirmed that will now be accepted. The police commissioner would be changed. One of the biggest takeaways from this very meeting, one of the principal demands of the protesting doctors, that they had put forth in their own deputation, in the 5-point demand that they had given. Number one, justice for the bereaved doctor, the deceased doctor, which she stressed the matter is with CBI, and that's why there is nothing that the state can do. It is also monitored by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's hearing would happen again tomorrow. So as far as the Supreme Court hearing is concerned, and as far as CBI's investigation is concerned, she did not say anything on that. The first demand, principal demand of the protest and the deputation, she said, has been taken care of. The other one was removal of the principal secretary health, along with the DME and the DME and the DME and DHS. These are, this was DME and DHS. They have been removed. This was also part of the deputation that they are given. They were demanding. So the DMS and DME and the DHS have also been removed. And she also said that their removal has happened after taking into confidence. Well, we will get to the minutes of the meeting. But that apart, just we are trying to go back to a place where we can report from. We're just leaving this road. This is a secure area, and of course, we had gone inside to the residence of the chief minister. So yes, the DME and the DHS have been removed. The police commissioner has been removed. In fact, the notification would happen tomorrow. The notification would happen tomorrow, and the notification would happen tomorrow. So let's now go to the minutes of the meeting. What happened in the meeting? Very, very, very crucial. Let's place the camera out here. The chief minister's bite you have. But what happened in the meeting? A meeting which lasted for several hours. What happened in the meeting? A minutes of the meeting which is like this. Look at the minutes of the meeting. You already have. Okay, you have it on the screen. You have it on the screen. And you also have the minutes of the meeting. Number one. First demand of West Bengal Junior Doctors Front is under the jurisdiction of the CBI. Minute number one. At the very outset, Honorable Chief Minister welcomed all the junior doctors present in the meeting. She expressed her heartfelt grief for the deceased victim. She also added, the first demand of the West Bengal Junior Doctors Front is under the jurisdiction of the CBI. The state government will provide all necessary assistance as required for expediting the completion of the inquiry and justice to the deceased. Point number two. As regards to the demands relating action against Kolkata Police, the CP Kolkata Police and DC North will be transferred. So Kolkata Police Commissioner, one of the top cops holding the top position in Kolkata Police, he will be removed. He will be removed tomorrow. An official notification would happen tomorrow. That apart, DC North, another officer against who the doctors had been protesting against. DC North will also be transferred. As regards the health manpower, the present DME and DHS will be transferred. Rupees 100 crores have been sanctioned for hospital infrastructure like CCTV, washroom, etc., which will be formalized in close consultation with the medical fraternity. The composition of Rogi Kalyan Samiti will be revised to make it more inclusive through the inclusion of all stakeholders. The issues regarding safety and security within the hospital and college premises was discussed. The state government proposed that a task force headed by the Chief Secretary and including the Home Secretary, the DG Police and CP Kolkata, as well as representatives as would be proposed by junior doctors will look into the related matters, and also an effective and responsive grievance redressal mechanism will be put into place in the medical infrastructure across hospitals and colleges. The junior doctors were requested to join back at the duties. It was jointly resolved to work in close coordination. The junior doctors were requested to join back at the duties. It was jointly resolved to work in close coordination to discuss and resolve all issues faced by medical fraternity at the level of Chief Secretary. West Bengal Junior Doctors Front representatives expressed disagreement with regard to no discipline Secretary as regards ensuring safety and security. It was intimated by West Bengal Junior Doctors Front that further discussion regarding specific formation of the same will be required. It was also proposed that the existing threat culture prevalent in the medical colleges can be removed after further deliberations through specific formulations. Democratically elected students' unions and RDAs, etc. Regarding cease work and ongoing sitting demonstration at Shastro Bhavan, West Bengal Junior Doctors Front representatives submitted that a decision will be arrived only after further discussion with all junior doctors. The meeting ended with an appeal from the Honorable Chief Minister to the junior doctors to join back to work ensuring delivery of healthcare services to people of the state. So obviously you saw the minutes of the meeting. We have tried showing you the minutes of the meeting. The minutes of the meeting is nothing. Okay, so the minutes of the meeting is not that different from what the Chief Minister has said. The Chief Minister's statement is there. Now let's just hear in what the doctors have to say. The doctors have gone back to the Salt Lake demonstration site, and this is what the doctors have to say. Very, very, very significant. Play the soundbite. All right, hold on. They are yet to play the soundbite. There is no communication, and this is very strange.
যে দুজন দ্বিপাক্ষিক একটা মিনিটস নিয়ে একটা আলোচনা হবে। আমরা গিয়েছিলাম সেখানে, আজকে দীর্ঘক্ষণ একটা আলোচনা হয় এবং সত্যি কথা বলতে কিছু অংশে আমাদের যে বিশাল আন্দোলন, আমাদের যে জুনিয়র ডাক্তারদের আন্দোলন এবং তার পেছনে মানুষের সমর্থন, সেটা আমরা মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর কাছে পৌঁছাতে পেরেছি। এবং সেই জায়গায় দাঁড়িয়ে তিনি প্রাথমিকভাবে কলকাতা পুলিশ কমিশনার বিনীত গোয়েলকে সরিয়ে দেওয়ার একটা আশ্বাস তিনি দিয়েছেন। এবং স্বাস্থ্য ভবনের ক্ষেত্রে যে দাবিগুলো আমরা রেখেছিলাম, ডিএমই এবং ডিএইচএস, তাদেরও একটা সরিয়ে দেওয়ার একটা আশ্বাস আমরা পেয়েছি। কিন্তু এই যে প্রত্যক্ষ এবং পরোক্ষ তথ্য প্রমাণ লোপাট এবং দুর্নীতি হোক এবং এই থ্রেট হোক, সিন্ডিকেট হোক, তার যাদের একটা প্রশ্রয় হয়েছে সেই প্রিন্সিপাল হেলথ সেক্রেটারি, সে বিষয়ে কোনো সিদ্ধান্ত তিনি নিতে পারেননি। এছাড়াও আমাদের সেফটি সিকিউরিটি বিষয়ে তিনি কেবল একটা টাস্ক ফোর্স গঠন করবেন এরকম একটা কথা বলেছেন। কিন্তু আমরা স্পষ্টতই জানিয়েছি যে কেবলমাত্র একটা টাস্ক ফোর্স গঠন করে এই সমস্যার সমাধান নয়। কেননা সেফটি সিকিউরিটি সংক্রান্ত বিষয়ে আমরা যে জিনিস বলেছিলাম যে শুধুমাত্র বাইরের জিনিস নয়, বাইরের থেকে সিকিউরিটি নয়, যে ইন্টারনাল থ্রেট, এই যে সিন্ডিকেট রাজ, মাফিয়া রাজ, গুন্ডা চক্র, দুষ্ট চক্র, তাদেরকে একটাভাবে উপরে না ফেলতে পারলে তার জন্য প্রয়োজন একটাভাবে গণতান্ত্রিক পরিষদ তৈরি করা। সেই বিষয়ে একটা আলোচনা পথ ওপেন হয়েছে, কিন্তু সেই নিয়ে কোনো কথা কিন্তু খুব বেশি দূর এগোয়নি। আমরা ফার্দার ডিসকাশনে পরে বসতে পারি এরকম একটা কথা হয়েছে। আমরা পথ খোলা রেখে এসেছি, আমরা পথ বন্ধ করতে চাইনি। আমরা যেহেতু সদিচ্ছার একটা ব্যাপার চলছে, আমরা পথ খোলা রেখেছি এবং একথাও মনে করি যে চাই যে যেটুকু আংশিক দাবি আমরা পূরণ করে আনতে পেরেছি সেটা আজকে এই আন্দোলনের একটা বড় জয়। কিন্তু একথা মনে রাখতে হবে যে এইটুকুর জন্য আমাদের 38 দিন ধরে পথে থাকতে হয়েছে। আজকে আমরা স্বাস্থ্য ভবন সাফাই অভিযানে যে গিয়েছিলাম সেটাও আমরা সম্পূর্ণ করতে পারিনি। আজকে এই অবস্থায় গিয়ে আমরা ধর্ণা মঞ্চে ফিরে যাচ্ছি, বিক্ষোভ মঞ্চে ফিরে যাচ্ছি। সেখানে গিয়ে সমস্ত কলেজের যে জুনিয়র ডাক্তার, যারা আন্দোলনরত জুনিয়র ডাক্তার এবং যারা সাধারণ মানুষ আমাদের পাশে রয়েছেন, তাদের সাথে একটা আলোচনা করে তারপর আমরা, এবং অবশ্যই আমাদের নজর থাকবে আগামীকালে সুপ্রিম কোর্টের শুনানির ওপর। এবং অবশ্যই যে কিছু আলোচনা হয়েছে সেই আলোচনা যতক্ষণ না বাস্তবায়িত হচ্ছে, সেই বাস্তবায়নের ওপরেও আমাদের নজর থাকবে যে কতক্ষণে, কত দিনে এই বিষয়টির একটা বাস্তবায়ন হয়, সেদিকেও আমরা তাকিয়ে রয়েছি।
বলো, আজকে মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর সাথে ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল জুনিয়র ডক্টরস ফ্রন্টের যে বৈঠক ছিল, নানান টাল বাহানার পর এই বৈঠক সম্পন্ন হয়। আমরা এই বৈঠকে ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল জুনিয়র ডক্টরস ফ্রন্টের রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ ছিলাম। এই জায়গা থেকে মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রী কিছু সুনির্দিষ্ট প্রশ্ন আমাদের কাছে রাখেন। 5 দফা দাবি নিয়ে আমরা ডিটেলস, আমাদের যে দাবি, কেন আমরা এই দাবি করছি সেই দাবি নিয়ে বিস্তারিত আলোচনা করি। আমাদের দাবি কেন ন্যায়সঙ্গত সেই জায়গাগুলো আমরা পরিষ্কারভাবে রাখার পর তিনি মনে করেন ডিএমই, ডিএসএইচ এবং সিপি স্যারকে তিনি ট্রান্সফার করবেন। আমরা মনে করি তিনি যে এই মৌখিক প্রতিশ্রুতি দিয়েছেন, মিনিটসের মাধ্যমে যে প্রতিশ্রুতি দিয়েছেন, এই প্রতিশ্রুতি যদি বাস্তবায়িত হয় তাহলে আমরা হয়তো বলতে পারি আলোচনা কিছুটা সদার্থক। তারপরেও বলতে চাই যেটা সেটা হচ্ছে প্রিন্সিপাল সেক্রেটারি আমাদের যে জায়গা ছিল, যে তাকে তার বিরুদ্ধে অ্যাকশন নিতে হবে, ট্রান্সফারের জায়গা করতে হবে। এবং ডিসি সেন্ট্রালের যে পয়েন্ট ছিল আমাদের, সেই জায়গাটাতে এখনও কোনো ফলপ্রসূ সম্পন্ন আলোচনা আমরা পাইনি, ফলপ্রসূ আশা আমরা পাইনি। রিগার্ডিং সেফটি সিকিউরিটি এবং বিভিন্ন কলেজে আরটি এবং স্টুডেন্ট ইউনিয়ন তৈরি করার যে প্রসঙ্গ, এই প্রসঙ্গ নিয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করি। উনি একটা ন্যাশনাল টাস্ক ফোর্স গঠনের কথা বলেন চিফ সেক্রেটারিকে হেড করে। আমরা তাদের ডিসএগ্রি করলেও আমরা বলেছি এই নিয়ে আমরা আলোচনায় বসতে রাজি, যদি আমাদের সেফটি সিকিউরিটি মেজার সম্পর্কে যাবতীয় যা পদক্ষেপ, সেই পদক্ষেপ নিয়ে আমরা ডিটেলস ডিসকাশনে রাজি আছি। এই অবধি আজকের আলোচনা হয়েছে। বাকি ধর্ণা মঞ্চ থেকে আমরা ডিটেলস ডিসকাশন আমরা করব। হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু এই পাশাপাশি এই কথাটা বলে রাখতে চাই, আমাদের আন্দোলন স্বাস্থ্য ভবনের সামনে যেরকম আমাদের অবস্থান বিক্ষোভ চলছে এবং আমরা যে কর্মবিরতিতে আছি, আমরা আমাদের কলেজের সমস্ত ছাত্রছাত্রীরা, নার্সিং, মেডিকেল বন্ধুরা যারা এই আন্দোলনের সাথে সরাসরিভাবে যুক্ত, তাদের সাথে সম্পূর্ণরূপে আলোচনা করার পর আন্দোলনের এবং আমাদের কর্মবিরতির গতি প্রকৃতি সম্পর্কে সুনির্দিষ্ট সিদ্ধান্ত নেব, এটাও আমরা মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রী জানিয়েছি।
are still maintaining that even though the discussion has gotten over, they are saying that not all their demands have been met. As far as the ambiguity over cease work is concerned, that continues because they have not really confirmed whether they would be getting back to work or not. They added that they would be keeping a very close watch on what transpires in Supreme Court tomorrow. But then while they say that the police commissioner and the DC North will be removed, why not others is something they are questioning. And nonetheless, the very fact that the police commissioner of Kolkata would be transferred, there would be a shuffle in the police department, they are saying is a victory of the movement they have started those many days back, about 35, 36, 37 days back, and they're calling it their vindication and their victory. Well, you know, if you see the doctors were supposed to issue a statement after going back to the Shastra Bhavan. I'm sure they've seen the Chief Minister issue a press conference, and thereafter they have also released a statement while on the go. They have not released the Shastra Bhavan as yet, and they have also, in a way, indicated that as far as truce is concerned, they are not confirming it there. Let's be fair, they are not confirming there is truce. While the Chief Minister made it very clear that almost 90% of their demands have been met and they have been kept, including removal of Police Commissioner Vineet Goyal. Obviously, they are saying that they demanded so, and the junior doctors demanded so, and their demand has been honored. But then the junior doctors are saying that not all of their demands have been kept, and that's the reason they would go back to the Shastra Bhavan and they would go back to their demonstration, and then they would finally take a united call. All eyes will be on that. More importantly, as 16th of September has already rolled into 17th of September, all eyes will now be on 17th of September, which is today, and the Supreme Court hearing as and when it happens, because that would also give us a clarity whether the Supreme Court would be taking cognizance of what really transpired in the meeting, the minutes of the meeting, which is there, an official document with the approval of both sides, the transfers which have been agreed upon by the state government at the insistence of the protesting doctors, and most importantly, the Supreme Court had asked junior doctors to get back to work, which they haven't. So obviously, what the Supreme Court says or uh, clarifies tomorrow, all eyes will be on that. For now, it's a very, very long day coming to an end. A day we started with the protest at Shastra Bhavan. It seems like from protest, half of the day went after this very meeting, which started at 6:30 almost and lasted for close to 5.5 hours. And thereafter, the Chief Minister, quarter to midnight, like quarter to 12, at least like close to midnight, she held a press conference. Never has this happened in the past. She held a press conference. She has taken questions. She has also confirmed as what has transpired in the meeting. The junior doctors have presented their side of the story. Now, while the Chief Minister says they have only appealed to the junior doctors to get back to work because there is a health crisis and there is also a flood-like situation emerging in Bengal, in the interest of everyone that they should get back to work. Will they do so? Will the cease work end? Again, we have to wait and see. But for now, this is how things stand. This is how things stand, and this is how things have transpired. The minutes of the meeting is out, the statement of the doctor is out, the Chief Minister's statement is out. While the Chief Minister says the meeting was positive, the doctors have certainly refrained, used that small little word, but with deep implications. That's nothing but positive. But hoping for all positivity around, we are ending this long live broadcast. Thank all our viewers for connecting with us, for associating with us, for watching this live broadcast, which is close to 4 hours and more. We thank you all. Thank you all. Good night and take care.